Welcome to the last show of the year where we talk about the best and the worst of 2024. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades. This week is actually the This Year show. That's right. It's the very last show of the year. A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of companies to examine, to pick apart, to grade. That's right. Tonight, you're going to be able to grade. I have 10 companies set aside, 10 home arcade companies that have made their mark in some way, shape, or form this year. You're going to get to grade each individual one, and we're going to discuss it in excruciating detail. Sorry about the lack of shows. I know we usually do like the 5 days of streaming at the end of the year, but I had family over and they stayed and we had a lot of fun, and that was a priority. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to the studio as much as I wanted to tonight. Hopefully I can make it up to you. We're going to do a 2-hour show, at least 2 hours, maybe more. And to shoulder this load, I've got a couple guests waiting backstage to help me sort of take this on. It's a lot to consider. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We got a lot to talk about. And one of those things to talk about is what's in the glass. Tonight we're drinking Maker's Mark 46 French oaked. Excellent Maker's Mark taste, with the French oaked. I don't even know what the French oaked is. It's just something they do. It takes some of the edge off that makes it that much better. It's also pretty affordable too. So if you can pick it up, definitely pick it up. It's worth checking out if you're new to Maker's Mark and maybe you've tried the standard barrel, the single barrel. Maybe you ought to try something just a little bit different and experiment. The French oak is definitely something you should want to check into. Everybody just breathe a collective sigh of relief. 2024 is damn near over. It's been a rocky road. It has probably had maybe some more downs than ups. A lot of drama, a lot of stuff going on. Companies, community members, people leaving, people coming back. It's been kind of wild and crazy. And I want to discuss, a lot of that tonight, guys. We got some great stuff to get into. This is that middle time. Christmas is over. New Year's is just on the horizon. We're wrapping it all up. What did they do? What did these companies do for you? How would you grade them? Tonight, you're going to let your voice be known. Let's go ahead and start with the first 10 comments. Say hi to the first 10 comments. The people that have jumped in hours ago, many hours ago, and commented the first 10. Let's say hi to those right now. Shogeko coming in the number 1 spot at what time? Right on the money, 1 o'clock, right on the money. This was close. Okay, this was a photo finish. I'm telling you, this is how StreamYards has actually ranked you and put you in order. Okay, so I didn't do this. Shogeko, 1 o'clock p.m. on the dot with, saying first. So thank you so much for being here. But also at 1 o'clock was Angelo P., who also thought he was first. Evening Fox and Chad. Finally, I have gotten back to being first on here. So I don't even know. You two are going to have to maybe discuss this afterwards. But thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry, Shogeko just evidently just edged you out. We're both here at 1 o'clock. Thank you so much. Coming in at 101, the same guy again. I got you. No, this is insane. I don't even know how you guys are going to hash this out, but you got to hash it out because we got to put this all to bed, start the new year right. And let's not have any grudges. Come on, let's get guys, Shogeko, Angelo, you got to figure it out. Coming in the truth number 3 spot is Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Hey, Fox, the best thing that happened to me in 2024 is that I got stronger. For the first time, I can lift $100 worth of groceries with one arm. I don't think it's how that. I think you're looking at it wrong. But at any rate, congratulations. You're stronger, sure. And also, thank you so much for gifting the membership, buddy. Really do appreciate it as always. Coming in the number 4 spot is Frank D. I'm drinking strawberry Nesquik tonight. Then I might take some magic gummies and visit the moon. Well, travel safe, Frank, and can't wait to see you back here next week, you space cadet. Ardith Bay is coming in the number 5 spot, buddy. Great to see you. Cheers, Fox. For me, Evercade killed it this year. Their releases. So hoping they confirm it with SNK next year. Maybe some SNK branded devices to pick up what Unico missed on. Absolutely. You give me a, Evercade Alpha MVS, take my money. That would be incredible. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. As always, coming in the number 6 spot is Gino 78 and 23 Iffy. Good Sunday, Fox. Curious to see what CES brings the home arcade community, and if arcade down up be at CES. I don't think it's going to happen, buddy. I just don't think they're going. They got nothing to show. Except maybe Pac-Man and NBA Jam. It is what it is. Coming in the number 7 spot is Nerd Jock. What's going on, buddy? Yo, Fox, hope you had an amazing Christmas with family. Now, to kick off the new year with a bang. Absolutely. And then coming in the number 8 spot is Zero Cool, having more cool than he gives himself credit for. Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much, buddy, for being here as always. Coming in the number 9 spot is Sir Sega. Yo, Fox, what's up? Hope you had a great holiday. See you tonight. Yes, I had a great holiday. Yes, tonight. Yeah, our night, tonight. That's right. And coming in the coveted number 10 spot is Dan Z. What's going on, buddy? Happy holidays. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We got a lot to cover tonight. It is a lot. It's a lot of information. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it on my own. So I had to bring in a couple pros. Please welcome to the stage, Just Stone and Michael the Bees.
Howdy, folks.
How's it going?
Awkward
How's
silence
it be back
again.
on Sunday nights? Justin, you're back on Sunday night. How you doing?
I am.
How's it feel?
I've been practicing, been playing piano, and I think I got your intro down. It goes like this.
That's exactly it. Note for note. It's perfect.
That's actually Crazy Frog
pretty
from
good.
Beverly Hills Cop.
How have you been, Fox?
I've been great.
What happened to the 17 days of streaming?
Well, I decided to condense that to one. I thought, let's just do.
You just got to put it in the hydrator, Justin.
You know what's lovely about that is his number one excuse is, I have a family, and I love my family more than 7 days of streaming.
I've also I had super chats off my channel for the second half of December. So yeah, I'm virtue signaling.
Mike
like
is
a
all
mofo.
like, why the hell did you do that?
That's how you make money.
I'm virtue signaling. Mike.
Well,
I'm better than you.
We salute you, sir.
No, I actually had
You're
beyond
so
this.
pure.
Well, beyond the white door is where half of my family was, and so I really couldn't get past the barrage of insanity
Yeah.
to come in and stream, and then the noise. So I was like, you know what? Let's just maybe just not.
The
this
real
year.
question is, where did you put the other half?
They were upstairs. So,
Okay.
yeah, they were allowed upstairs. Everyone else.
We all know you
shunned.
visited New York recently, but I didn't know you would go that far.
Do you feel bad at all that this guy is in jail next to Diddy for a crime you committed?
No, not at all. That's why you do it that way, Mike. Come on, guys.
This poor guy, he's like, hey, I'm Luigi. I'm just going to go get some McDonald's. And 19K Fox is like, you my patsy.
It's so great. Also, isn't it amazing that Fox framed a guy named Luigi? Come on.
I would never frame Mario. Everybody loves
Right.
Mario. Luigi's basically a throwaway character. Yeah.
So how are you going to fill 2 hours here? I'm looking at your list and nobody did shit.
Wait, there's
Yeah,
a list?
Basically, yeah. There's a list. Absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't
It's
get
all in the
invited to
thumbnail.
that memo.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss it, and we're gonna just make stuff up, Mike. It's what we do.
Oh.
We roll with it, baby.
Hey, did you guys know that GSR is 50% off right now?
Who the fuck
I
is
didn't-
GSR?
Wait a minute.
GRS. Sorry, I have dyslexia. You guys
did
are
not know
literally
that.
laughing at a disability right now. Good job.
Well,
Oh,
That's what
look,
we do.
here comes Justin and his virtue signaling. Oh, my God. Here we
You're
go.
gonna have to
I just
up your
say
virtue
what I
signaling
say
game,
just to
Mike.
mess with you, Mike. All right, just let everyone know that Glenn, who's in the chat, it's unwanted sponsorship, which is technically illegal in the YouTube space, but that's okay. We all ignore the terms and condition and play by our own rules. So we allow Glenn, a corporate company, coming into the chat and advertising a discount on his website without allowing the customers to acknowledge they want that or not. But that's okay. And now I
It's
watch
fine.
Mike.
It's totally loud here.
Then I watch Mike
well,
to see how he crawls.
maybe later, Mike. Maybe
Get
that's
the
the
abortion talk already.
That's the third hour.
It's much better than the Glenn talk. I'll tell you that.
Oh, that's awesome. So, guys, overall, what do you think of 2024?
If we're talking specifically about home arcade,
Just a home
been
arcade, yeah, just
it's
a
been a real hard year to be excited about much of anything. I mean, realistically, the product of the year is probably the AtGames Legends Pinball 4K. And let's be honest, it won by default.
Because it was the only entry.
That's right.
fair. I think that's fair. Justin,
Yeah.
you've been kind of on the sidelines, allowing yourself to sort of take everything in. What are your
I
overall...
bought 3 1-ups this year. I don't know what you guys are talking
Well,
about.
I'm looking at what's behind you. Are those, with the exception of Star Wars, are 2 of those new?
Yeah, 2 of them are new.
Yeah, so you got the class of '81, and then
You got to wait for the deals, guys. Even
That's
if
true.
the company's about to die, you buy it when it's low.
The problem is I never had a website to point me in the right direction. There used
And
to
you
be
never
one that I
will
relied
again.
on. Oh my God.
So
You
I did much like Justin. I ended up getting rid of a lot of my arcade one-ups back in 2023. And what happened was early 2024, I waited for a couple sales, and we got some great sales here in Canada. I ended up getting my Street Fighter 2 Deluxe, which actually never really came to Canada for sale. I got that for about $500 from Walmart, but it was really through Spring Tree or whatever. What is it? What's the name of that store? Spring what? Spreetail.
Retail, yes.
Yeah,
Spreetail.
I was way off. Samsonite.
Samsonite. And then I got the MK Deluxe. So I got a Mortal Kombat back in my house. Ended up getting like a Terminator for $500, which is about $350 off here in Canada. And also got to replace my Dragon's Lair. But other than that, nothing new came to Canada. It was a really, really like sad year. I got back into quarter arcades, did some stuff with them. New Wave Toys sent out some cool stuff, but like other than that, home arcade was barren this year, and even doubly so here in Canada.
But you got a sponsorship with My Home now, right?
What is My Home?
My arcade.
My arcade, yeah.
Oh, I don't. No. I'm doing this of my own free will. I'm not held at gunpoint like Fox.
I hold the gun, Mike. You know that. You know that.
Are you still aiming for number 3, My Arcade?
I told you earlier, it's not a race for me. I mean, I obviously exist outside the home arcade bubble, so whatever I do is.
Do we have that on the Fox? The best quote of 2024? Because
no,
I exist outside the arcade one-up bubble is definitely top of the list.
It
but
wasn't arcade one-up bubble. It was home arcade.
I think we're justifying another show.
I think there's a second one that's still really good. Like, you got a lot of nerve. That might win number 1 quote of the year.
It is fresher in our minds. So maybe it will take the top.
Who had the best hat throwaway of the year? That's another one that should be up there.
I'm in the running, right? I'm top 5.
Won't be needing this anymore.
It is fine. Well, I beg to differ, Mike. You did get a Canadian exclusive, right, with Iconic Arcade?
Well, I don't know how exclusive I'd call that. Like I had a lot of fun in 2024 making fun of Iconic Arcade because it's just so ugly. And like, honestly, anybody that's going to pick this stuff up back at its original price point, there's so many better options. But when it became interesting was when it went on sale for $299. I was like, oh shit, $300 Canadian, which works out to roughly around $200 American. I mean, to add a multicade to your home running a Raspberry Pi 4B that you can also hook your Simmons up to, like, that's some serious shit. So if there's people out there without a multicade, you can get one real super cheap that does a lot of really cool stuff. And then there was further deals. Like I eventually got the arcade control panel, which is I'm going to try to use on my Megacade. And there was another sale, another $50 off Iconic Arcade just the other day. So they're down to $250 now if anybody didn't grab them at $299. So horrible looking arcade, very thin wood, but the cheapest multicade on the go today.
I saw a video on that, and the guy was saying that, so the Iconic Arcade, Raspberry Pi 5,
4B.
You can, or 4,
4B.
right? Raspberry Pi 4.
4B.
You can connect it to your Wi-Fi network, and then you go to your computer, and it will show up as a, like, almost like a network attached storage. Right, you'll see the entire OS of the Raspberry, like the file systems on your computer, and you can literally just drag and drop ROMs right into it remotely. Like you don't even need a thumb drive or anything.
Have you never used a Raspberry Pi before?
I've never played a Raspberry Pi where maybe it's because I have Mac. Like, are you saying your Raspberry Pis like show up on your home network as a file system?
That's literally how you add games to a Raspberry Pi.
Wow. Like what have I been doing? Like my network must not be set up that way because
no idea
I have it where I get an image, right? And I load that image on there and it doesn't show up. None of my Raspberry Pis show up on the network.
Really?
Really? You guys, it shows up on your network? It doesn't even show up on my PC that I have.
Oh yeah. Like you discover them, and then that's you drag and drop your games into the files there. That's
they just run Samba. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Look.
Yep.
Look, guys, I just go where everyone else goes and grabs a really good image anyway. Right?
Justin is Arcade Punks.
Yeah, go to Arcade Punks and grab an image. Just to be fair, right? And none of those images make mine show up, but it also has all the games that I would like. But I thought it was a clever way for a company like Iconic Arcade to be like, look, here's a clean Batacera image that doesn't have any ROMs on it.
Right.
And then you probably already have ROMs, so drag and drop. But if that's a thing that's already been out there, hey,
how thin is the wood? What are we talking about?
Oh, it's super thin. It's like quarter.
It's noticeably thinner than
yeah. This thing is a piece of shit. Like, it's over in Europe now, and I would not be able to recommend it. Like if it's full price in Europe, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like there's other options. Like even building your own multicade is better. But when it hits that price point that it hit here in Canada, like that $299, I'm like, something worth looking at.
If you're going to read MG's message, you got to read it with his accent. Go ahead, Michael B. What do you got?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I can't do MG's accent. I can only do
get into character.
My selling point of MG. I want to tell you, MG may come across slightly as a troll in the comments, but let me tell you, he's an absolutely lovely gentleman. And if you want to have a delightful conversation with him, I suggest you head on over to the Arcades Anonymous Discord, find the water cooler chat, and you will find your ears just filled with pleasantness coming from MG's words. You would not believe the delightful tones that come out of this man's body and the wonderful conversation that will ensue.
That's amazing. So I love watching The Office. So MG is basically Michael Scott to me. So I absolutely adore him. He's basically season 1 Michael Scott, not quite season 2, but the endearment is coming. So it's kind of like growing on you. So I like MG.
When he's season 3, he comes into his own.
Oh, really? Yeah, absolutely. So here's something 2024 I think we're missing. You know, it's one thing we missed in 2024 is more political views from Michael B, the Game Genie. I can show you right now that this is a video that I need you to make, Michael B, because you're Canadian and you constantly remind us how you're Canadian and how
did you know I was Canadian?
Expensive up in Canada. So you did this entire video that was like, oh my God, the tariffs. The tariffs are going to be so expensive, right?
No. That's
really good.
That's not what I did. I said, I don't have an opinion on the tariffs, if they're good or bad.
Okay.
But keep in mind, there is a possibility that tariffs will drive up costs in the home arcade space. Now, of course, people saw Donald Trump on the thumbnail and they saw the tariffs. And when I said I was
Canadian, just wanted those Donald Trump views, right?
No, I've been talking to Fox about this for weeks. I kept telling him, I think home arcade's going to go up in price because of the tariffs. There's a possibility. And Fox is just like, Donald Trump's never done anything wrong in his life. I have a Donald Trump poster on my wall.
He's on the cover of Time magazine, Mike.
If you're going to make a video on saying tariffs bad, you basically said, I don't have an opinion. No
I didn't
political
say tariffs
view.
Were bad.
Welcome to Tariff Talk.
You said tariffs you never said tariffs are going to help home arcade.
I said tariffs are bad for home arcade. I said tariffs could be good overall.
Oh, really?
There's a reality with tariffs.
Yeah, but no. But the topic is home arcade.
Oh yeah, well, home arcade tariffs could be bad, guys. But
why don't you make a video that's like, hey, did you hear? Canada might become the 51st state. And this would be amazing because all that home arcade stuff would totally come
Think about it.
The state of Canada because it's the same country.
Iconic Arcade's ticket into the U.S.
You guys with your high IQ.
No, I go onto eBay and I'm like, oh, I want to buy this Super Nintendo. Oh, it's from Toronto, so the shipping on it is insane. Let me buy one from New York, which is technically further away.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So there we go. Canada is going to become the 51st state. We won't have to keep on telling Michael B
just
that
math, Mike.
he should move to America because he is in
He'll
America.
be in America.
He'll be in America.
You know what's
it's
weird?
just that easy.
You know what's weird? My dad actually isn't really a Canadian. I think he is now, but my dad was born in Newfoundland before Newfoundland joined Confederation with Canada. Wow. And Newfoundland's only been part of Canada since like 1949, I think it is.
Wait. So you guys should just secede. What are you doing?
I know.
I know. Get rid of Canada and just be your own thing.
See, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to become the 51st state, but Newfoundland won't want to be a part of it. So Newfoundland will become its own country.
No, Newfoundland can be like a territory, like Puerto Rico. Not technically a state, but a U.S. territory.
That's right.
Don't worry, Mike. We're going to take care of you. We're going to bring you in, buddy.
Yeah. I feel like this show is exactly how I figured the after show would go. It's full of right-wing nonsense.
I never made a political position. There's no one talking about right or left. What we're talking about is home arcade and what would make home arcade better. Mike. And you said tariffs would raise the price, and I'm saying making Canada a state would lower the price.
Tariffs are only bad if you want to buy something from some other country. That's the only time it's bad.
There's no tariffs if it's the same country.
Word up.
That's not how it works. You know that.
What are you talking about?
That's not
literally what they want to do.
No,
they even said, what if it's a union? So it's a separate country, but their trade union.
North American Union.
Yeah, North American Union.
Like,
there's
NAFTA,
no tariffs, free trade. So Arcade 1-Up, you could literally
North American Free Trade Agreement. Again.
Sell them everywhere. Done. This is a good thing, right? For home arcade. Non-political. Just home arcade.
It's not.
Don't care about anything else.
Where does Arcade
Only home
get
arcade.
all their parts and all their stuff produced from? Where are these things coming from? Where are all the materials coming from?
China.
Indian. Other
Indonesia, as you told me.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
China's going to be the 52nd state, so it'll be fine. Okay, moving
as a summary, 2024 had too many politics. Can somebody agree?
This topic is just too far. Let's do something a little less controversial. Everybody state your opinion on abortions. Fox, you go first.
Moving on to the first.
Hit a 1 in the chat if you're for.
Go ahead.
Hit a 0 if you're against.
Oh my God. Okay, so everybody in the chat, pay attention to the poll. I just did the question in the chat right now. The first poll question. We're going to talk about quarter arcade first off. So what I want you to do is jump in there and I want you to grade them A, B, D, or F. So I didn't know how to phrase this. So my wife said, this is how you should do it. Do it like a review at work. Okay. So A is you've exceeded the expectation. B is they met the expectation. D is like needs work, and then F is you've just failed. There was just too much wrong to be considered acceptable. It's all bad. So
is your wife in HR?
Perhaps.
Because
basically,
it sounds like a yearly review.
Well, the big drama is
just really quickly.
4 options.
Really
so
quickly. Really quickly. Sand spirits, we don't need any help with that. His time is done.
What is it?
It's gone. No matter what happens. Literally, like he could run against a house plant. He's going to lose in the next election. We don't need any help with that.
Fox is trying to get us back on track, and Mike is all like, politics.
It's okay. Tariffs.
So, anyways, back to these abortions.
Oh my God. So so quarter arcade. Go ahead and rate them A, B, D, or F, and then we're going to continue with our conversation of a company that I usually don't talk about on this channel.
Let me ask you.
They won't sponsor you, you son of a bitch.
Well, I'm holding out.
Are you going to have multiple polls tonight?
Yes. One for each time.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So get your votes in. Get it. Everyone that's out there that's only watching on a TV, go grab your phone. If you're on your phone, flip it. Come on, vote real quick. Mm-hmm. And then, because we're going to do, it sounds like Fox wants to do these rapid fire voting, right? So it's not going to be like, it's not going to be a 2-hour vote, right? It's going to be.
It's going to be. Got 2 hours to get your votes in on quarter arcades. We're going to talk about them for 2 hours, then we'll move on to the next subject.
So first we were talking about politics, and he didn't want to do that. So now we got to vote. So vote now.
These things are going to happen. So it's not. It's like.
So I find your whole scale flawed because how do you really grade quarter arcades? Quarter arcades. In terms of what they do, had a good year. They released more stuff. Right. They gave us tons of announcements. They released these ancillary products.
Are you talking about quarter arcades that came out in 2024 or in general?
In 2024, not the whole company.
It's what you see on the screen.
I'm trying to keep it contained within 24, and I just want the audience to figure out where the company was in their mind. Did they exceed their expectations? Did they meet their expectations? Did they fall below their expectations, or did they just fail? They were just disappointing. I wanted to say it like that. So it's almost up to the individual's interpretation, because I think in a lot of ways, maybe someone didn't have much hope for Quarter Arcade, and then, oh my God, they came out with Ninja Turtles and everybody just lost their mind. I've not, it's just going to be up to the individual. And then we're going to have our discussion, because I have not purchased any Quarter Arcade items because I kind of got my 1/6 scale stuff going on over here with New Wave Toys. So there's like a conflict there. So I don't have anything necessarily against them. The thing that really sucks is
I don't know why you support New Wave Toys over Quarter Arcades. I mean, neither of these companies will work with you.
It's got that's obvious. And New Wave Toys have hurt me immensely. But it's like once you get into the ecosystem, it's like, what am I going to do? I can't have like a 1/4 scale TMNT next to my 1/6 scale Dragon's Lair. It just doesn't work. So what do you guys think about the company overall? Because I think that they make a lot of quality stuff. They're not cheap, but what do you think?
I can't say much about them. They've never given me anything for free. So
see,
that is the mark. Like they have to give you something for free, or you can't comment on it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't buy anything from Quarter Arcades in 2024 or get anything from them, correct? Console kits?
Correct. I only got things from a New Wave Toys for free.
Yeah. Okay. So as being the only person who's actually used some of these from 2024, we interviewed them twice on Super Game Room Dudes. I got my hands on the Turtles cab. Turtles cab is amazing. Outside of the extra toe that somehow made it onto the art, that is an amazing.
Is that AI?
No. That they don't. That they like. We talked to them about it. They wouldn't say if it was AI what it was. They're just. It's just one of those fascinating print issues that happened. I laughed when they told us about these other, like even the radiator. I was like, who's going to buy a radiator?
I have no idea.
I'll give them a lot of credit on catching up this past year. I mean, they released that Space Invaders, and I don't have one yet, but that thing is special. I'm waiting for it to go on sale on Amazon.ca because honestly, the shitty thing about this for me is, again, it's so expensive to get their stuff here. So I always wait for it to go on Amazon.ca. The Zookeeper is beautiful, absolutely stunning cabinet. Of course, there's the control issue that everybody knows about, which kind of brought that down. They announced a bunch of new games they're going to be working on, teased some really good stuff. I mean, last year was a very good year for Quarter Arcade, but they didn't really evolve other than like the Pepsi machines. They're not really bringing anything new out. If you're a fan, it's more of the same, except more games. I think they hit their target point, but I think it falls short with a lot of people in the home arcade space because we're waiting for companies to kind of step up and do new things. And like for some of these companies like Quarter Arcades and others to maybe challenge Arcade 1-Up. So that's why I said this poll is so hard, because I think in their mind, it was a very good year. They did a lot of cool stuff last year, but I don't know if you could give them an A.
Maybe you can't give them an A, but I think that you can say, you could say with enough vagueness to be correct, if that makes any sense, that they exceeded your personal expectations. Let's say you ordered, let's say you pre-ordered the Turtles cabinet, but you weren't sure, but you were hoping that it was going to be good. So you're meeting your expectation would have been a B, but if you get it and you're blown away with the quality, you would give them an A. And I think that that's where we're at as far as the overall audience reaction to these companies and what they're delivering. There's the promise and there's the delivery. We're going to talk about other companies that maybe fell way short. Some companies aren't even on this. They're not going to be a part of the show because they didn't do anything. But I think obviously from what I've seen that quality isn't really an issue. It is going to be a conflict of, if you've already got some New Wave Toy stuff, do you want to go with 1/6 scale or quarter scale?
I'm pretty sure that's just you.
That's probably just me, and that's fine. But I don't know that price is really an issue because of what I've seen. I don't think that necessarily $300 is really, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not out. I don't think it's crazy.
I don't know. I have the different opinion. Like, I think it's all price. I think
it's all price.
Yeah, I'm influenced a little bit by, I saw someone in the chat mention that it's about $100 too much. And I started thinking about it. I was like, yeah, if it was $199, like, why is it that I'm looking at the TMNT and I didn't buy it and I didn't buy Burger Time And I'm looking at the Pepsi going like, that's not bad. That's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
$169 for the Pepsi is not bad.
Mhm.
But I'm looking at the turtles. I'm like, $299, and it's. I don't know if I'm going to pay $300 for that. But if it was like $199, like, and I don't even really know like its dimensions. Like I can't
It's
tell you right off the
17
top of my
inches
head.
tall.
Like, okay,
It's 17 inches, so that's about
I
what,
just-
5 inches taller
I don't know.
than a New Wave Toys arcade.
like it's a perfect price if you're obsessed over that.
I don't think it's
Turtles.
perfect price.
It is if
The Turtles was originally $3.99, if I'm not mistaken, and so was Space Invaders.
Yep.
I don't
So,
know. I
like,
think
to me-
it's too pricey.
To me, I think, Justin, you hit the nail on the head there. The problem with quarter arcades, and you look at that value proposition, like they do some cool stuff if you like it like that in that size, but we're in the same community where people are like, arcade one up $4.99, that's way too expensive, and you're getting such a bigger product with controls that are easy, more ergonomic. So we're getting up there in price. Like when you're up around $3.99, that's what most people feel the sweet spot is for an arcade one up cabinet. How do you justify that with a quarter arcade? So I think one of the bad things about like the whole pandemic and everything that happened, I mean, quarter arcades did put out a poll and they said, we're thinking about going to plastic, and people told them no. And they said, well, keep in mind, if we don't go to plastic, prices are going to go up. I don't think they've gone up that much, but like, here's the deal. Like you are paying a premium price for what you're getting here. So unless you really like these, it's hard to justify picking them up unless they go on sale.
I don't have one, obviously, but I view this as a little bit of a different type of product. And maybe that's just because my view is off. I do feel like this is going to be something you buy one of. I mean, some people may buy as many as they can. They want to have a whole collection and they want to have all the little accessories and all that, and that's fine. But for me, it's for somebody who's really excited about Space Invaders, loves that one cabinet, and wants this one, and that's it. Ninja Turtles the same way, Burger Time's the same way. I don't know that, and maybe I'm just shifting my mindset because it is so expensive. But I think that $300. Now I pulled these prices off the internet today. These are the base. This is the starting point. So if you want Turtles with the stool, it's more, and all that, all the accessories and stuff, it's going to be even more than 300. So it's not like it's cheap by any means. But I think if you're going to purchase one item and you're really excited about this one cabinet, I think you'll spend the money, but you're never going to go back. And I seriously doubt that you're going to go back for the accessories and all that and make this whole diorama when it is so expensive. Now, New Wave Toys maybe isn't that much cheaper, but it is significantly cheaper, I think.
Yeah, I'm new to the smaller size. The only thing I have is a Coke machine, which was, I guess it was Cleveland, so maybe that wasn't 2024, right? That was 2023.
That was 23.
They were just like handing them out at the end of the show. And I like it. I have it in my office. It's on a little shelf, and it's pretty nice. I don't use it, but I look at it every now and then and go, "Hey, that's pretty sweet." You know what I mean? And so I could imagine that same thing with any arcade related. But from my understanding, when like quarter arcade, this came out in 2024, but I can order it right now, right? Like if I wanted to get the Turtles, it's available.
Yes.
Explain to me, how is it where New Wave Toys, it seems to be they're very seasonal and they're very like, you got to buy it or you're going to miss out. You pre-order it and they're out of stock and you missed it, bud. That's it. And if you want it, you're going to have to pay double on eBay, right? And so far I'm like, that's in my head. And I'm like, when they come out with a title that I'm obsessed with, like I have to buy it. Otherwise I'll miss it. And it seems like Quarter Arcade, and there's the other one. There's like a third company, right? That makes,
I don't know,
smaller machines.
Small arcades.
Arcade one up. They're called Collect Arcades, and they are just the best.
Not that.
They're
so
super
not
awesome.
Replicade, not Quarter Arcade. There's a third one, and they do like Pac-Man and Galaga, and those seem like evergreen, right? Like you can buy them anytime you want. No.
There is not a third company then. Like,
I don't think there's a third company that does it.
Quarter Arcades does do the Namco Bandai. So
okay, then maybe it's just Quarter Arcade.
Yeah, so
Quarter Arcade just like make evergreen machines then?
They have a different mentality. They'll do reprints where New Wave Toys is intentionally limiting the stock. They don't want to screw the people. What?
Numbskull, that's who I'm talking about.
Numbskull is Quarter Arcades.
Yeah.
Same fucking company.
Yeah.
Hey, watch
that's why
the
he- that's what-
language, bud.
that's what he
I
was
feel
com-
like
that's
I'm
what he
doing a
was com-
stream with nostalgia. Like, do your homework, bro.
Hey, someday we'll get there, buddy.
Is it?
Shiloh himself said it. Like, he does not want to make the early adopters feel stupid, because eventually they'll produce too much, sell them on a sale price, and make people feel regret in buying in early. Yeah.
He has, and he's to that same point, he's talked about things like maybe changing up, maybe having a Street Fighter 2 again, but it's a different style, different cabinet, a different artwork, something like that. And I think that there's some credence to that. But yeah, I mean, it's like, to your point, like, at least they're more available. But is this available because it's so expensive? And the one thing that's a big difference with the Coke machines, for example, 170, not terrible. I think I think it's the same price. Maybe it's 150, or maybe no, I think it is 170 for the New Wave Toys Coke machine. But the New Wave Toys Coke machine is a freaking fridge. It actually is a fridge. And this is just a USB charging station. Am I correct? The Pepsi is just USB in the back, right? Mike, come on, put the damn coffee down.
Oh, I was looking at Jay Cut's comment. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to make you, Justin, anybody feel stupid. I was just joking around. I just assumed it was.
I guess I'm supposed to do a ton of research before
Mike is
come on a stream, I guess.
No, I said don't be like nostalgia. That's the whole joke.
Mike is just kidding, guys. Come on, relax.
Okay.
But no, but the Pepsi machine is just a USB charging station, right? Is all it is?
That's literally it. Yeah, it does nothing else. Doesn't have a cooler in it. It won't snuggle you on those nights when you feel alone. Nothing.
Which is disappointing,
Yeah.
But I don't like Pepsi anyway. I'm more of a Coke fan. So anyway, final thoughts. I mean, do you even want to? We don't necessarily have to rank it or give it a grade, but I mean,
I'll give them a B. They did some really, really cool stuff. Like, Burger Time looks incredible. Zookeeper, outside of the limitations of their joystick, is just an amazing product. Some of the other Taito and re-release of Bubble Bobble, not that big a deal. Some of the other, like Taito is not like, like top tier marquee arcade titles. It's not like they came out with a Capcom or anything really high end. So yeah, I'll say B.
Okay. And I think the audience agrees with you. You're going to go in that poll now. 56%
said.
give them a B, which is not bad. I mean, they've met the expectation, so that's good. I think everybody probably wants an A, but still,
I think everyone's kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
Quarter Arcade. They're not. They've done nothing to offend anyone. They're fine. They're absolutely fine. Okay.
They showed up, unlike some people.
Well, they kept doing what they were doing. I mean, grading, like, honestly, if you want to, I don't know what the term is, like when your class is all failing, so you got to grade them on the curve. Grading on the curve, they're an A+ compared to Arcade 1-Up, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was trying to be impartial, not considering other companies, just the companies themselves. They told us they were going to do something. Did they deliver? And when they delivered, do you think that, it met your expectation? Were you happy about that? Would you buy stuff again? And that's, if we could kind of just maybe look at these companies individually and then grade them in that way. And then you take all those grades and you figure out who was the best, who was the worst, So that's what we're trying to do. Is it going to be successful? Who the hell knows? Okay. Next poll's going up, guys. Go ahead.
As the best podcast episode about 2024. That's how good this is.
I think I'm in the running for sure.
For sure.
The single competition.
Mike was going to lose when he does his 2024 review.
You know what the worst thing is? This is literally the show I was going to do tomorrow night. Now I can't do it.
No, you can't should.
Do it. You should do it, and hell, I'll come on your show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All
right. Just copy my format. It's fine.
Oh, Pete,
next one, guys.
So mad I'm using the StreamYards again.
I need both of your help pretty bad here because we're going to talk about Stern. Could be a quick conversation, but I mean, I was a part of this, going to Pinball Expo, playing a lot of these titles, one of them being Metallica for the very first time, one of the few that got to play this thing. Being a novice, experiencing these pinball machines, learning this year for me was a lot of learning, okay, the differences in machines. What am I looking for? Why do I like the ones that I like? Why do I hate the ones I hate? And figuring all this stuff out. And it was a fun year of just kind of discovery. And once again, getting to play some of these badass titles: Metallica, X-Men, John Wick, Jaws, Venom, Foo Fighters, Godzilla, just to name a few. Guys, Stern, your thoughts?
I think going by precedent, the precedent that we set with quarter arcades and talking about price, you have to grade them F because fuck these prices.
Yeah, $7,000 base, right? That's where we
To
start.
be fair, right?
Know?
The prices didn't go up though.
Yes, they did. There was a price increase last year.
No, there wasn't. 2.5 years
$500.
ago.
$500 last
2.5 years since they've raised prices.
Oh, it can't be that. They went from
CEO
6499
of
6499.
2.5 years.
Yeah, but he did the Jedi mind trick. He was like, prices haven't gone up in 2.5 years. The Pro hasn't been $7,000 for 2.5 years.
007 was $7,000.
Have I really been out of it?
Yes, you have.
Has it been 2.5 years since I bought my Godzilla? Because when I bought my Godzilla, a premium was $9,499. But how much is a premium now?
$94.99, $95,000.
Oh no, $8,999. That's what the premium was when I bought my Godzilla, and that wasn't 2.5 years ago.
It was 2.5 years ago.
I'm telling you, Justin. I don't care what their CEO said.
This was a great year. Look at the lineup here. Metallica, X-Men, John Wick, Jaws all came out in 2024. That's insane. When you look at Venom, which someone among us bought Venom.
I heard a guy bought. Why would anyone do that?
If you rate, one way to rate the machines is an interesting way, is how much is the resale of that machine now? It's not a perfect way to judge it because it could be they made too many. You know, if they made too many of Venom, then that would explain why you can get them for $5,000. But the fact is, if you want a Venom, I've seen them as low as $4,000 and used with like not a lot of play on it, and they're 7,000 retail. So that was last year. So you could say Venom didn't do very well. Although the stern apologist will be like, Venom is doing great. It does well on location. Even my arcade says Venom is their best game because the ball drains so quickly, people want to play again. And so they, get a lot of money.
Fourth Horseman said he bought his Venom used for $3,000.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, you can the captain's auction. So Foo Fighters is one that held value. Yeah. Compared to Venom, Jaws has held its value very well. John Wick has not held its value.
No,
John Wick is one that you can get really cheap. X-Men, it's not
still too new, you think?
You can get one used right now from Flipping Out Pinball, and I want to say it's like $800 off. I want to say.
That's
so. I don't think it's probably like Foo Fighters, where it's like it's pretty good. It's not John Wick, and it's not Venom.
Right. I mean, but $800 on a machine that just came out 6 months ago.
But it is used because it's kind of. It's like you can't sell it for like retail.
I mean, we know that pinball is expensive. That we know that that's a big barrier of entry, and that's really kind of been that really hasn't changed from pinball like ever. Because I mean, it's a big mechanical device, and there's a ton of labor that goes into it, a lot of engineering, a lot of parts that can fail, a lot going on there. But we did it. I mean, the price notwithstanding, in your mind, did it meet or exceed your expectation, or did it fall below that? In any of these tables,
generally,
Stern this year, I guess, generally speaking, yes. If you look at the main titles that came out this year, what do you think?
I think they hit it out of the park with Jaws. I think Jaws, it'll take a while for the community. They got so obsessed over the Jaws doesn't eat the ball that they missed out on the fact that it's one of the best games of all time. Like the code, the missions, everything you can do in the game. There's so many things that you can stack and you can enjoy. The shots are fun. And some of the people that say that they don't like Jaws, they're kind of judging the IP only. They're like, that movie is so-so. But it's like, go play the game a lot. Don't play it once, play it a lot.
Mike,
you'll be like, that game is amazing.
Still think it's an F, and I think we should all shit on pinball now to watch a part of Justin die inside. So anyways.
You can do what you want. Like, dude, I've learned from this community that they can shit on me all day long, and dude, water off the back like a duck. I don't care what you think.
I am
Justin,
telling you,
you're an oak.
Then
I am telling
Metallica.
you.
Metallica's fantastic.
I'm telling you, prices went up. Jason said I'd made my video 2.5 years ago.
I knew he was searching the internet to be like,
Yep,
I'm going to use the power of the internet to
I use the
prove
power of the
Justin
internet.
wrong right
Use
now.
Google.
June 1st, 2023. I put up my video. I got my table in May 2023. Not 2.5 years ago. It was $8,999 US. Prices have gone up $500 since then. That's not 2.5 years. Stern, the CEO,
Watch
he's a
this,
fucking liar.
everybody. Let me show everyone how this works. Okay, everyone in the chat, get ready for this. Michael B, you are right. Sounds good. You did a whole bunch of research and proved me wrong. Do you feel validated? Do you feel good?
I feel like a big man.
All right. As long as you feel good, then we're all good.
Okay, back to the tables, guys. If I can focus your attention, your massive brains focus. If you start, and what was the first one? Was it Foo Fighters? Would be the first one that was released
Jaws
this
was that?
year?
Remember, we went to CES and Jaws was there
So you had Jaws
in
That's right,
2024.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Foo Fighters
Jaws.
came out in 2023, regarded as probably Keith Elwin's best table.
So,
We were at that one was first unveiled at Comic-Con.
right.
Whatever.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Freaking Mike, look at
He's blowing up your brain. So Jaws was the first one that hit this year. You had John Wick,
Right.
X-Men, and then Metallica. So I've played Jaws. I'm not good at Jaws. Everybody says
Jaws is so good, Fox. You
I
gotta
know.
just
play
hit
it
the
a
chum
couple times.
bucket
I
a
need
couple
more time.
times.
I need more time. I'm a massive John Wick fan. The movie, love
man,
the
that
movie.
Dude,
pinball
are you
machine is
serious?
the
Table
shit.
You love
sucks.
John Wick? You
Shit.
can get that game cheap, dude. And
I
it's,
love
the
it's
shits.
good.
It's
It's a
not good.
great game,
shits.
especially for $4
No.
grand.
I don't. It's no. Oh my
It's
god.
got a lot
It's-
of great shots, man. That back end is packed. It's got multiple ramps.
no
It's
guns.
got the dance. It's
There's
got
no
an
guns.
orbit. It's
I can't
good.
there's no guns. But I didn't. Maybe if I spent more time with it, sure. X-Men on the. This is how good X-Men is. I'm a absolute garbage player. The first time I played it, didn't like it. The second time, I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I think it was with Mike the second time I played. This is freaking awesome. This is so much fun. Metallica, the first time I played it, and I think it's because it's easy. Like you just kind of shoot the ball right in the middle. I loved it. So that's kind of where I fall as far as meeting. I think it definitely met my expectations for sure because of the quality. But I think I'm also going to kind of give them an A because even as a novice, two of these machines were just like, by the second time I played them, I was like, this is so much fun. This is awesome.
So you're grading this on not so much a pickup amount because not all of us has like $1 million in the bank like Justin.
True.
Like
No, it
35 pinball
definitely
machines.
It
But-
factors in. Is it worth the price of admission? Is the key?
But to go to an arcade and play them
There you
for
go.
$1,
Sure,
that's where
sure.
you're rating it. Yeah.
That's right.
Right,
Or
right.
happy
Ju-
hour, even cheaper.
Overall, right. This is a little bit different scenario. You don't have to buy it at Walmart. You can
Yeah.
go and play it. You know.
Do they sell them at Walmart?
What? No, I mean, no. You can. You don't have to go to Walmart.
I get a
if
half
you
dozen eggs and a Stern Premium, please.
if you want an arcade one-up, you have to buy it. It's my point. You can't
Yeah.
just go play it in an arcade. A pinball machine, like anything by Stern, you can go find it in the wild and you can play it. So it's a little bit of a different thing. The price is what the price is. If you're willing to buy, I think most people would probably just buy one in their entire lifetime. You know, maybe
Oh, yeah.
trade back and forth, but they're not going to buy multiple. Justin is a
Maybe.
certified bazillionaire. You know, and that's fine. It's fine.
That's
Justin
right.
invented
you know what's great?
Dogecoin.
What I love, I love the only reason I bought
Invented money.
pinball machines was to mess with P-Dubs because he was all like, "I make 6 figures," and I was like, "You only make 6 figures? Okay,
Oh my god!
all right,
Oh, God.
all right."
Well, I mean, in 1 year, I make. I mean,
yeah, well, you know,
the figures
P-Dubs
come in differently.
makes the most out of all of us. Of
I bring
course.
home 6 figures a month, actually. G.I. Joe
Oh, my
classifieds, that is.
There you go. Now you're talking. So I think we can wrap this one up pretty quick. But I think for me, I mean, you know, maybe what would prevent it being an A is that I didn't run out and buy one. But I think that my overall interest in pinball isn't quite there. So I think that may be a little bit unfair. I can't blame that on Stern. I think when it comes to Stern, I think the number of tables they came out with this year and the quality. I mean, even if you just look at, not my opinion, but the overall community, the way they were received, with a couple of exceptions, I think they probably get an A from me.
I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna say C because you don't have it as one of the poll options.
Oh my god!
And
I only have 4. I couldn't. I wanted to see.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna be very honest about this. A couple of years ago, we went through the pandemic, and Arcade 1-Up blew up. Perfect storm. That's why Arcade 1-Up became so successful. During that period, that's when Stern Pinball really jumped with their price increases and pushed up production because you had so many people just stuck home and they're like, I fucking hate my house. I don't know if I like my family anymore. Everything sucks. I'm going to buy a pinball machine.
Everyone has different pandemic experiences.
Well, what happened was people went crazy because they couldn't go out. They were renting pinball machines from arcades that didn't close down. A lot of people were buying them. So I think Stern is still playing off the numbers from a couple of years ago, and I'm concerned that they're putting out so much, and a lot of it is very good, that it's going to saturate the market a little bit for the home buyers, and that's why you're seeing prices go down. It's amazing for the arcades, for you guys to get out. Like B-Kong's at a launch party tonight, and then afterwards he's got poker, might be an orgy, we're not 100% sure, but it's awesome for the arcades, but for the home market, it is oversaturating a little bit, and that's why we're seeing these prices come down. That's why you can get a John Wick so cheap. That's why you can get a Venom so cheap. There's so much shit out there, and I think at some point they're going to have to slow down a little bit.
But you can't get a Jaws cheap.
No,
Why
because
is
it's
that?
good.
Because it's good.
Guys,
right.
with 41%, everybody says they get an A. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. For something so expensive, I thought that the price would definitely take a hit. But if you're just talking about meeting expectations or exceeding expectations, even if you factor in the money, people are still seem to be, for the most part, happy with Stern. Someone even say they love Stern. It happens.
Yeah. It's because pinball is available for everyone because it's for everybody.
That's an amazing
for
name
Michael
for a show.
B. Except for
That's
Michael
true.
B. Everyone lives within an hour of a pinball arcade, except for Michael B.
This is
and
true.
So you have access to be able to go to these launch parties, except for Michael B. And you have access to be able to play all the new titles that come out only by traveling at most an hour or two, except for Michael B.
Minus Michael B.
Yeah.
I have to get on a fucking boat and spend 10 hours at sea.
Travel the river Styx to get past and pay the guy a dime. Okay, next company, guys. We're talking about Michael B's new favorite and mine. It's My Arcade.
Yeah.
My Arcade. With a name. Listen, My Arcade. Arcade is in the name.
It's a good name because every single time you're like, so I was in My Arcade.
And they're like,
My Arcade, not the company.
What? Yeah. It's a name drop, unintentional.
That's right.
Unintentional.
Anybody else here been in 19K Fox's Foxhole?
Just 4.
Is that the name of his members only show?
The Foxhole. That's what he calls his
Join me
arcade, the Foxhole.
in the Foxhole.
I'm so pissed at you, Fox.
Don't
I
call
became
it
a
a
member
Foxhole.
yesterday, and you're not doing a members only show today?
I gave
You've
my
been
members,
hoodwinked, bamboozled
I
even.
gave my members early access to my latest video. As reparations for the fact that we're not going to do a members only.
Oh, that's what happened, because I woke up this
Yes.
morning and I saw 19K Fox's arcade tour 11 hours ago, 49 views, and I was like, finally, the My Arcade shilling caught up to him.
I finally got him. No, it was only available from I think midnight till 11 o'clock. Yeah, for just my viewers, or maybe even before that. So yeah, so my analytics took a huge hit, but after it went live, it went up. So so that's how I made back. My members are now compensated, but I don't know, guys. My Arcade, they do some things really good, and they do some things really, really bad. I'm going to start with the bad, and I've made this known. The joystick player, the thing on the right hand side with the big joystick, the Pac-Man, is stupid.
Oh, really?
Oh, don't worry. There's some Sega ones coming with console rounds.
I know. You notice I haven't made videos on that because I'm trying to calm down before I make that video.
So the wheel sucks?
No, not the wheel. No, the thing on the far right, the joystick player.
Oh, the joystick
Pac-Man.
one sucks. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just stupid.
Is your hand like kind of in the way? Like, is it hard to see the game?
Yes, it's in the way. It's not. You're not going to get into it.
It's kind of like when you're spooning and you don't know what to do with that other arm. That's what
the
it's
right
kinda
arm.
like.
It's falling asleep. Where does it go?
Where does it go? What do you do?
It's not good. But I think that the pole position, that their first driving thing, I forget what it's called. The driving player. Everything's a player. The driving player was surprising. I didn't think I would like it at all. I did like it. But I think that the pocket players are definitely where it's at. But guys, your thoughts on My Arcade?
The only ones I own are those $15 ones that were at Walmart a long time ago. I'll go get one. Continue, Mike.
Quality.
I will admit that originally I've been turned off from My Arcade because I initially confused them with Basic Fun. But I will say that I don't think their quality has risen much more than Basic Fun. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about them. The shape, they're not even trying to be replications in some sense. They got the art and other things like that. I don't really like the idea of the pocket players, like playing arcade games on like a very wide pocket. They are low price, so there's some forgiveness there, but they're still little plastic arcades. I found it really hard to be interested. I will tell you though, every time I went to Best Buy after they brought them here to Canada, my daughter was like, "Oh my God, will you buy me the Miss Pac-Man one?" She thinks they're fascinating. They're at a good price point for like cheap junk you give to people. A little bit too pricey here in Canada. Like the pole position came out here in Canada. Cheapest I've seen it on sale was like $70. This is one that interested me. I'm very impressed by what they've done here. I want to give them a good grade for getting pole position, making it happen, doing the wheel, all that stuff. I still find it a little price restrictive for what it is. I know that's crazy for a cheap product, especially after we just talked about Stern. I don't know. Like they keep getting cool stuff. Like you look at their CES teases so far, there's all kinds of cool stuffs there, but it's like, oh man, we got this great concept. How do we fuck it up? And that's what I feel like My Arcade always seems to do.
Justin, what do you got, buddy?
Here we go. So I think I got this for $5 at Walmart like 3 or 4 years ago. And I never opened it because, I think that's what I bought was a game in a box that I'm never going to open and play. So I can't really give you my opinion of how it plays, but I can tell you I've never had a desire to open this box. Also got Bad Dudes.
Well, that's a hell of a product right there. Clearly you bought the right one.
Bad Dudes is arguably the best arcade machine ever.
Someone in the chat tell me that they've improved since purchasing this one.
I don't know. They sort of have, because if they're from 3 years ago, this might be the era where they were still putting console ROMs on their My Arcades. So they have switched to arcade ROMs, which I'll give them credit for.
In some instances, yes.
In some instances, yeah.
I think, and I've made no bones about this, the pocket players, very, very specific to the games that are on them, can be, I think, successful. I think they're very solid for what they are.
Can you bring up Glenn's comment?
Oh my God. Sorry. There we go.
Nice solid plastic. A term that I've never heard that's been an oxymoron. That's why.
Can we shout out Glenn for just a second, actually?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Let me do him a solid, okay? I heard it's virtue signaling for claiming that you love Glenn as well. So I need to make sure that I have a good...
We're talking about him later on, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you show your slides?
For him right now?
No, the slides for My Arcade.
Oh, yes.
Why would you spend $49 when you can get the Glenn's Retro Show Build-A-Cade for $49.99 with some discount code that he keeps talking about? To be fair, if you're in the market for this $49, just wait, because we have a slide coming up that's going to talk about a product that I would say I've seen in person in Cleveland. I don't own one myself because I'm waiting for Glenn to realize that we're sweet friends and he's just going to send me one for free. His Build-A-Cade. Now, we'll talk about it soon, but I think it's amazing as a Build-A-Cade. But one thing I'll say negative about Glenn, because I'm not just virtue signaling the entire time. What I don't want from Glenn is that same shape larger. I think that's a bad idea. I think that Glenn's Retro Show Build-A-Cade shape should evolve as it grows. It should look different because it's fine as a little toy, but it's not as cool looking as a big.
And we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
But My Arcade, let's wrap up My Arcade real quick. I
Okay.
don't think
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a ton of stuff to talk about. I did see some stuff, and I'm going to make a video about this. The other CES announcements, I'm not excited. One of the big things is, why do they keep doing it? Looking at the picture in the middle, why do they keep doing the wing thing that we saw
Oh,
on
it's horrible. Yeah.
the second generation 4-player cabs from Arcade 1-Up?
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's the wing that sticks out beyond the marquee, but they don't even have a lit marquee on these. And now we're talking about some sort of other Mighty, which is going to compete with the countercades, and there's no marquee at all. Oh my God. I don't like it.
I think the Mighty has potential, but I've got to see it. I've got to see the price point. Obviously, they went completely off the map with this thing, and they went with the classic My Arcade shape and design, non-light up marquee. The screen looks like it's it looks like it's a pretty big unit with about a 2-inch screen in it. So
16x9.
that's
Yeah.
Is it a 16x9 screen?
I think it is. Just from what I saw, very tall and skinny.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to like My Arcade. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to like them. I'm seeing them get Sega. I'm seeing them do things, but it's just, I don't know who the fuck runs this company, but like, and maybe it appeals to the masses and they're not interested in going with like the hardcore arcade type people, but man, I want to like them. I want to like them so bad.
Patrick,
they're so cheap.
you are in luck, buddy. You are in luck, fella, because that's what they're doing too.
You know, my favorite thing about My Arcade though? Nice sturdy plastic.
Good sturdy, not just
Good
regular
sturdy.
plastic.
Good sturdy plastic.
Good sturdy plastic. I think that they should stick with these companies. Can't stay in their lane, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it in a good way. You've got this great thing with the pocket players, very specific, solid. You put a couple games on them, they're $40. Sell them, make a bazillion of them. Why are you trying to do some things that you're trying to compete? When you step into the countercade segment, where you have Arcade 1-Up, the pioneer, is now dropping off, but then you have Evercade coming out with something super cool and badass. You're going to try to compete in that, but make it a lot cheaper. I think it's going to be wood, but you're not going to have marquees. It's not going to be quite as big as the other stuff, and it's running the same game that we've seen before. If they would do pole position as a Mighty Cade, maybe you got something.
Could be. Yep.
And it seems like the title game Pac-Man might be a console ROM on that as well, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Do you have a slide on Unico?
Oh, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to dip too deep into it, but Unico has some new products come out, which I think are a result of amazing feedback from influencers like 19K Fox.
Just put some stickers on the show.
You guys were like, just make a red version and it'll be great.
75 votes. It's not, I'm cutting you off. So 29%. 29%. My Arcade's actually getting a D. So substandard. And that's curious. It was kind of close with failing, actually. The 28% was the failing grade. Let's go ahead and end the poll now. Well,
listen, guys, it's pretty clear that My Arcade is not necessarily a product for the niche home arcade community. They're a product that exists outside the home arcade bubble.
I need one more sentence on My Arcade. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead while I'm tapping. Go ahead.
Okay, so
hold on. My Arcade is the cheapest shit in the world.
Okay, so
this is where you're supposed to say, "Have you no shame?"
Have you no shame? My God, I have shame.
So what Unico has taught us is that they're only as good as their ability for their influencers to communicate.
Yeah.
And so it makes me wonder, if that's true, can that be applied to other things? Like My Arcade is only good as the influencers that previously influenced their products. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Gen X. What's his name?
Well, he is a gem of a person. I really like him. Super nice.
Yeah. But anyone else who's covering it, that's not great. So I'm wondering if Fox... No, you're new.
Okay.
I was talking about previous.
All right.
My point is, maybe you guys can actually be in... Maybe the term influencer is not about influencing the audience. It's about influencing the companies. And maybe you guys have a chance to influence.
That's what we've been trying to do all along.
Mike, we can only do so much, buddy.
Yeah.
You can only do so much.
So there's this thing with all fandoms that you feel like you want to make yourself heard and hopefully the company will listen. And I think a lot of things gets lost in YouTube because of the shows you do or the following you have or something like that. People lose that. They're like, you're an influencer, you're this, you're that. At our core, we're all fans of these products. And if we're critical of them, it's because we as fans feel like we need to make our voices heard so that the company may hear and then completely stop talking to us because they don't really give a shit what we think.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a company that absolutely cares about what everyone thinks except for 19K Fox, and that is New Wave Toys. This year, guys, was actually a pretty big year for New Wave Toys in unexpected ways. Some of the stuff we saw coming because it was available for pre-order for 3 years, but some of the stuff was shocking, kind of out of left field, maybe even a letdown. Guys, what do you think about what New Wave Toys did this year?
Is this only products that they both released and got out to market? Because the
Correct.
the pinball machine's not in here, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're not including that because that was a pre-sale item that has not actually.
To be clear,
that yet.
Okay.
Only 2 of these products are out to market that you have on screen right now.
Well, correct, but they were released this year or whatever.
There's still vapor, man. We don't know if Ralphie down there, the timeout doll, is coming out. We don't know if that's going to happen.
That's too.
Let's just go with he needed to fill up the slide.
I need to fill up the slide. So
Yeah,
the pinball machine, I guess. Okay, we could talk about too if you want to talk about that. But I wanted to talk about some of the things that they delivered, and then maybe where they're going, what they're offering this right now. One of the bigger things has got to be. Well, let's talk about Zoltar first.
Oh,
that
Zoltar
was delivered.
So good. Yeah,
I mean, I think universally loved, even though it was just made of plastic, the evil dreaded plastic. Is it good firm plastic though?
Good
Mike?
sturdy plastic on Zoltar. So one thing I will say, Zoltar was a hit right across the board. Everybody loved them, but one thing that can't be overshadowed, and like we got to call it like it is, with New Wave Toys, there were a lot of issues with like the glue or something, with parts falling off Zoltar, either like shit with the curtains being messed up. Like I had his feather fall off my Zoltar by the time it got to me. So there were still some quality assurance issues.
I don't know how they'd fix that though. I almost want to give them a pass. Like the glue you're talking about, that sounds right. But inside the box, like the feather in his cap falling in shipment.
Well, it's a quality issue because we know they had to switch. They had to switch manufacturers halfway through the production of Zoltar, and I think it was a little bit rushed to get out. Zoltar is amazing. Despite that, for the price they put out and what this thing does, it's just so fucking cool.
But you'd almost have to like put styrofoam inside the guy and then have to open him up, to make sure
you just assume that the parts that you have glued on and stitched on are going to stay on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. With you. It's going to move a lot, like doing eBay, just for a second, doing eBay, when you do eBay for years, the number one rule is pack that box with peanuts and you make sure nothing moves. That it's not about like making sure it's cushiony so when it moves around as something to hit, it's like make it not move. And it just kind of feels like it would be really hard to make a feather not move. But I guess your answer is glue. So that's fine.
I just think it was shitty glue. Bad glue.
Bad glue.
That's fine.
Bad glue. Hashtag bad glue. But that, I think, or would you consider that to be like a win as far as the delivery? Because a lot of people just absolutely love it. I didn't pick one up myself, but
for there to be as many reported issues with a product and for it to still be universally loved tells you the quality of that product.
I agree.
If this was Arcade 1-Up, oh man, we'd still be hearing about it. There'd be lawsuits, everything.
Yeah. What about did anybody else besides me pick up the cigarette machine, the charger? I originally pre-ordered it because I didn't have the change machine, but then someone allowed me to buy, one of my viewers allowed me to buy theirs. So I bought that. So I have both of them now, and it's a lot bigger than I thought, but I think it's really cool. Interesting that they would actually take the risk. And I think it was sort of a risk to do this, to sort of emulate or reproduce something that was so synonymous with, tobacco use, which is, taboo now.
Yeah. But
I think it's
your
cool.
family's picture in it.
Well, I know. And you could also get the artwork version, so it's different, but I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. They did take a lot of time to go through and actually fake all the labels and brands. They made them slightly different. So they look very much like the brands, but they're slightly different. I thought it was kind of funny. Little misspellings here and there. They even included little packs of cigarettes.
Do you remember in high school when they'd have these like things hanging on the wall that you could buy, you know, so all the teenagers had plenty of supply of certain items? I think they
Yes.
should do that next.
Oh, you think like so condom dispensers is what they should do next? That would be great. Hanging on the wall, Billy with a change machine could give you quarters so you could buy your
They had
condom.
these at arcades too, right?
That would be great.
I hear what you're saying. I wonder how they decided to come out with a cool machine like that. I mean, did they,
No idea.
you know,
No
they just
idea.
said this is in an arcade? Because have they done like any of the push? They haven't done the coin pusher yet, right?
Haven't done a coin pusher, haven't done a jukebox yet, which they've already done a Bluetooth speaker with their boombox. I
And they-
would think that they would do a jukebox at some point.
Yeah,
Or
a
should have done
change
that
machine they've done, right?
The change machine they've done, they actually re-released it. It's actually the wood grain version is actually available now on their website, which is pretty awesome.
That one makes sense to do for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But that
maybe
was
they
a
just
little
did
bit
a low quantity.
They're still available too. So maybe that kind of is maybe it wasn't as popular as they liked or they thought or they hoped. I thought it was cool. I mean, it is what it is. I think that so we had Zoltar, we had the cool cigarette machine. You've got the accessories that are now available. They're still continuing with the kind of the deep cuts, kind of the one-offs, the classics with the Crystal Castles. But I think the biggest shocker was all of us kind of waiting for New Wave Toys to make something full size or 3/4 scale with Glenn. We didn't get that. We got something different.
See, more proof Glenn's just not bringing it in 2024.
Mike, what did you say?
So I will say that a lot of what happens with New Wave Toys is obviously community rumors spread. And I think they have almost like an obligation to themselves to protect themselves, to kind of throw cold water on it. Like before they announced their pinball machine, we were kind of speculating like, oh man, this is going to be a mechanical playable or it's going to be something like that because of information we were given by people involved. And instead of them coming out and kind of putting cold water on that ahead of time, they just announced it and then people shit all over it because it was non-playable. And then it was almost like certain people in the community tried to blame us. They'd be like, you hyped it up too much. I honestly think that at that point, if there's hot rumors going around about your product that aren't true, that are going to decimate the excitement for it when it comes out, you have an obligation to kind of get out ahead of that. And 100%. This is the big one. I mean, honestly, anybody who says that it's the YouTuber's fault that people were disappointed about the control panel and Glenn partnership not being a full-size cab, that's not fucking on us. That is literally on Shiloh. Mm-hmm. Shiloh was at the fireplace throwing in those kerosene logs, being like, we're doing full size. So when they announce, a Replicade with a control panel, and for them to say, I'm surprised people are disappointed. Of course, they're going to be fucking disappointed. We're sitting here literally starving at the table for Arcade 1-Up to release new cabs. And then Shiloh gives us this glimmer of hope. And then we sit there and we're like, it's happening. It's happening. This partnership is it. And then they come out with this. It's not exactly a 1-for-1.
I tend to agree. I mean, I think that it's they should have absolutely tempered expectations at the very least and said, we're talking about a really cool accessory. We're talking, point the discussion in a different direction.
Thank God Glenn did. Glenn is the only person who got out ahead of this and started leaking images of the desktop. And then people were still trying to justify that it's just part of a full-size cab. And I was like, whoa, pump the brakes, guys. Glenn just showed us like a school desk. I don't think this is going to be a full-size cab.
And to Glenn's point, if you're 1/6 scale person, it is full-size. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't think? I think that it was a cool accessory. And it was unfortunately kind of suffered because of the unrealistic expectation. That was the big thing.
That New Wave Toys themselves said.
Exactly. That we were excited about. There was a lot of talk behind the scenes, a lot of murmuring. We didn't really know. And that was the only real letdown, I think, was the expectation. Once you step away from it, this is a pretty cool accessory. And it really makes, I mean, if you're talking about being playable and the criticism they got for the pinball machine, this is a way to make this 100% playable. If you don't want to try to sit there and spin the ball with your little finger, I think it's a good thing. I think because at the end of the day, I have $3.99 up there. This is an optional package. You're not forced to get this. If you just want your golden teeth,
no. It's Glenn. It's Glenn. If you don't buy it, you're a son of a bitch and a piece of shit.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's pretty good marketing, though. It works. It's like, plays on your conscience, and it's constantly raining throughout your day. You're like, God, I don't want to let Glenn down, right? If I don't get this thing, like
You're
everyone's going to be talking how like I don't support Glenn,
How you personally.
Never see you make videos about Glenn anymore. God,
not even open them just to support them.
Yeah.
So I think New Wave Toys. So A, B, D, or F. I mean, I think that they're probably a solid B for me. I think that they've met my expectations. I was able to kind of come off the high of hoping we were going to get something, 3/4 scale or full size, and I was okay with it only because it was an option. I think if it would have been a mandatory thing, like the only way you get Golden Tee is if you buy the freaking package and it's $400, that would have sucked. But to give people the option, it redeems itself a little bit. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I'm going to explode. I was waiting for Justin to go. So I think there's a lot of factors in there that play into this. I think New Wave Toys had a good year. I love the inclusion of these decks as much as people want to shit on them. I think there's tons of opportunities. Fox, you did an amazing video talking about think of the possibilities, I think it was. And that's really what we'd be looking at here, because if Glenn and New Wave Toys had their way, if nothing was standing in line, we really could have got some really cool shit on a deck that would have been very cool for people.
Yes.
But I think what it comes down to is the fact that we're Golden Teed out in the home arcade community, and we laughed about it last year that it was going to be the year Golden Tee, because originally New Wave Toys was doing a full-size Golden Tee, was the rumor. Arcade 1-Up was doing another XL Golden Tee, which did come to fruition, plus they did it deluxe. But we've had enough Golden Tee. If you're not going to do new Golden Tee, just don't do Golden Tee for a while and let us get a breath of fresh air. I will say the other criticism I have, Crystal Castles is beautiful. That's going to be a beautiful replicate, but you're coming out with your second deck, and it's another trackball. The saving grace is, of course, you can use the Golden
red
Tee
glowing
one.
trackball.
Yeah, you can use the Golden Tee one, or, if you don't want to buy two decks. So that's there, but it would have been amazing if they differentiated. The first one being a trackball, the second one being like a flight stick,
a spinner or a flight stick or something. Exactly.
Something different. Yes. So that's what I will say. I will give New Wave Toys. I'm still going to give them an A, because we didn't even talk about Berserk, which came out last year, and Berserk was great.
It doesn't count. You're going to give them an A? They came out with crap this year. What are you talking about?
What did they come out that was crap? What?
I'm sorry. Name one thing that you purchased from them in 2024.
Well, Justin, that, my friend, is affected by what we call a variable, which is New Wave Toys shipping, which gets an F, because if you check out New Wave Toys shipping to me, it's insane. I can't buy anything from them.
Let's make sure
that I'll pay more for the shipping.
You're
than
consistent
I will for the
with your Arcade 1-Up rating as well. You going to give Arcade 1-Up an A?
No.
They suffered from the same issues, right?
No, they
New Wave
did
Toys
not.
didn't come out in anything exciting for you to purchase, and you didn't purchase because the shipping is too expensive. I'm just calling you out. The consistency doesn't seem fair, man.
Excuse me. What you're doing is you're painting something into a line that isn't exactly what it is.
Yes,
so you're
that's
saying,
exactly what I'm doing.
Yes,
and you're falling for it, because there's a Golden Tee for $3.99 that's too expensive, and then there's a Crystal Castles, which you're going crazy about, but you didn't get.
No one got.
Why not?
Well, no, Crystal Castles did well. I mean, they sold them and stuff like that. The people bought them. But again, I told you the shipping. The shipping.
What about Zoltar? Zoltar's amazing.
They sent it to me.
Oh, so it gets an A because you got a product for free? Oh, I got it. I got it.
Meeting expectations. Right. Meeting exceeding expectations. It's not about, the only way that Mike is able to actually review this and to give his opinion on it is because they sent it to him for free, because the shipping is prohibited. That obviously factors into his overall rating, I believe. I don't want to speak for Mike.
Bias, influence, got it.
I don't want to speak for Mike, but I think that Canadians overall look to Mike as the number one authority.
Mark it on your calendars. Come back here next year this time and see all the great things Justin says about Media 1-Up.
Oh, boy. Oh, my
calendar now.
The shilling has begun.
Pretty good. Pretty good, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, so
do you remember I don't make content anymore? I just hang out with friends.
And when he comes back for the hangout, when he comes back for the hangout. Mark it on your calendars.
Okay, kids. Okay, relax. Okay, so final thoughts on New Wave Toys. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. There's more votes in this poll, more enthusiasm for New Wave Toys than who did we talk about last? We talked about My Arcade. Yeah, not a lot of enthusiasm for My Arcade. I think they only had 62 votes, 75 votes, and 47% give them a B. Not bad, right? It's pretty good. 47%. I'm going to type up the next poll. You guys continue to argue.
I love Justin.
I can't wait for Michael B, the Game Genie, being the only home arcade YouTuber to cover Media 1-Up after what he just said.
You think I'll be the only one to do it?
Well, you'll probably be the most one to do it. How about that?
I
That's
think
fair.
there's going to be so much hate for Media 1-Up. He won't be the only one, buddy.
Mark your calendars. Next
Mark your
year,
calendars.
we will be here. And guess what? I'll be crapping all over you again.
Oh, I will. Okay, I will. Mike Hawkhurst brings up a good point. There is one I forgot. I thought it came out earlier, but Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts did come out in 2024.
Was
for
that
New
this
Wave
year?
Toys. Yeah, it was. So I'll knock it back to
I
a
got
B.
that. Yeah.
I'll knock it back to a B because they actually didn't deal with this with the community at all. There's a 8-way stick in both those cabs, which pretty much makes them unplayable with the stick itself. The reason I think it got a pass is because you can use an external controller, and everybody just thinks Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins are tough. But if you're going to be critical with quarter arcades for the Zookeeper joystick issue, how do you not bring up Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts from New Wave Toys? Completely fucking unplayable, and yet at least quarter arcades, mentioned it, offered refunds. New Wave Toys, last I heard from Glenn, not from them, they were looking at a software fix. Never ever heard back from them. People have unplayable cabs outside of sticking another controller in there. So, yeah, I would take it down to a B, if not a C.
Yeah, I think I bought it because they sent me nothing for free, which is fine. I'm not bitter at all, not in any way, shape, or form. But I actually paid money for that. But I don't play these things. I really don't. So maybe I'm at a
I don't know. Wasn't that 2023?
I know it's 2024.
I think you're right. It was this year.
I mean, Gen X Grown Up has a review video on it in October 2023. He's got.
You know what? You're right.
Hand.
Okay, back to an A. Back to an A.
Okay, back to an A.
Last
They're good.
They sucked last year.
Speaking of an A,
they made less this year.
Speaking of an A, speaking of product of the year, Mike B, you kind of let that slip at the beginning of the show. Let's talk about AtGames.
Yeah.
Let's talk about AtGames. Let's talk about the totality of what they released. And it's really just one product line. We never saw the 4K stand-up version really come to fruition. We never saw that, which is a damn shame because I need more purple lightning in my life. But what we did get is the 4KP, probably the best for the money. I think a lot of people have the same opinion. I've actually had a lot of time. I had some time to play multiple models. I even put one together with Mike behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Got to know this intimately. And it's probably the best V pin for the money, but I'm going to defer to my guests who have a little bit more experience with a real pin. What do you guys think? Justin, let's start with you. What is your overall opinion of AtGames, what they brought to market this year?
Okay. So when we were at Expo, I played this, and I don't know why this happened, but I played an Addams Family first, and I was like, this sucks. This is horrible. Like the experience, I played Addams Family on Addams Family, and I play Addams Family locally. They have one locally. It's a great game. The call outs from that, old 90s movie and, the whole franchise of Addams Family is pretty fun. And then, it sucked. And I said kind of out loud, like, this sucks. And then someone from AtGames were like, hey, we haven't updated the software on that yet. They're like, go play the ones over by the food court. They have the update. I was like, okay. So I go over there, and it was great. It was really good. So I have this experience where I was blown away because I, within 5 minutes, got to play the two different versions. And when I went to do the new version, internally, I was like, this is going to have tons of lag, and I'm going to see it. I'm going to feel it right away. And then I played Snoopy, Addams Family, Jurassic Park, and I was like, I don't feel it. like it feels decent. I mean, it doesn't feel like a real machine, of course, but it felt
Right.
like a really good virtual representation of it. So,
I mean, so you got the benefit of actually playing it at its worst and then playing it
right.
at its best, sort of back to back.
I don't know. I almost feel like I was going to make a joke at the beginning of it, like we should ignore the lag because they did fix it and they're applying the fix on every game. We should ignore the DNS error because that was a fabu, you know, it took 3 days and they fixed it, whatever. Because your question is, did AtGames with this product launch have a good year? And it's a little bit, I think there's some bias because we also know what's coming out in 2025. And I'll just say, Fox, if you don't buy one of these things, you're insane. You said you're going to get one, and I think you should get one. I think I should get one. Even though, like, I have a lot of these machines, I'm getting Attack from Mars, and like I'm going to have a real one this next year.
I'm so excited for that.
I have a dilemma because should I have 2 Attack from Mars? Should I have the real one and the
I think it's clear, Justin. You need to take the bullet for everybody and buy Dinosaur Dynasty.
You need to pick the worst skin.
I'm too influenced by 2025 having so many great Williams games.
Yeah.
A lot of these games, you cannot play them for real because they're all beat up, they're all old, and CGC is or Pedretti, is that their company? They might redo Twilight Zone, you know, Addams Family, but for the price, it could be a good deal to be able to play all these games. I hate that I'm saying that out loud, but the fact that they're coming out with so many Williams games in 2025, and they did announce that in 2024.
I know. So we can talk about it. It's totally cool. Yep.
I'm going to vote.
You go ahead and vote. Mike, you're basically an insider. You basically run the company. What are your thoughts? Unbiased.
Well, the poll and the idea is, did they hit their targets, right? Did they meet their expectations?
Did they meet your personal expectations? So that would give them a B. If they've exceeded your personal expectations, that would give them an A in your mind.
And this one's a little hard to gauge because, like, I'm very happy that people are starting to really enjoy this, and a lot of the negativity around the lag is gone. People are having more fun with it. They've got an awesome load of games coming out for it if nothing changes with these Pinball FX list. P-Dubs just brought up the fact that there's still some people that are like, well, it's only 1440p. It's not like they're hiding that. Everybody's like, they're dishonest. But they literally had one of their employees, John Wagner, do a full list to tell you every single game and what the frame rate was. So the 1440p. So it's not like it's something they're keeping under wraps. I get people mad at me. They're like, don't you dare call it the 4K. And I'm like, well, the PlayStation 5 is 8K and they release games that are 1080p. What are you going to do? Are you going to burn PlayStation down?
Yeah, it's a good argument if every single game was not 4K.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's 4K capable. Maybe everyone should say 4K capable because it does have games that are compatible in 4K.
You know what they should call it? They should call it the 2. Don't paint yourself in a corner. Don't just, I mean, it's too late now to do this, obviously, but this is just the 2. This is just the second version.
The P stands for pretty close. It's the 4K is pretty close.
So I wish it was cheaper. And that's one thing I will say, like it does, reach that upper echelon of the home arcade price point. I mean, we're used to buying this stuff for like $299, $399, $500. You're getting up around $1,000 and like you're feeling a pinch. And like when this first came out at like $10.99, I think the initial pre-order price was for the Addams Family. I mean, like even then that's the high end, right?
Yeah.
So now the fact that these are going for like $14.49 on sale, you're like, Jesus.
$100 for shipping. It's like it's $15.99 without the SSF kit. Yeah.
I wish they could figure out some way to offer what they're offering a little bit cheaper just because of our market and the demographic they're serving. I think that they're missing a lot of target customers because they can't come out with a cheaper option. They tried with the, the starter premium and stuff like that. And some of that stuff makes sense. Take off the topper. You can find ways to, factory direct, all that stuff is good. But of course, locking up the extra features, that's a mind scratcher as well.
I was
don't
close
know
on
about
getting
that.
one because they did do a special in the last few days.
Yeah.
Or where, whatever they call it, the post-winter sale or whatever, where they did include the advanced feature for free.
Nice. Yeah.
The percentages are all, there's someone who mentioned on that. They say it's 17 and 19 and 37%, and the math doesn't actually add up. I think that's just a weird bug on their website, but yeah.
I've got to, for me to make the purchase, I have a couple criteria. So one is going to be, we're going to actually, the beginning of the year, I'm going to turn the super chats back on. We're going to have a goal. I'm going to have a thermometer and the whole deal, right? And if we can get up to $7.50 super chats, I'll buy one. So that's the first hurdle. And then after that, I'm going to need PK to reach out to me personally and ask me to buy one. If those two things happen, if I can get $7.50 from my audience, and if I can get PK to ask me to buy one, I'll buy one.
So, they had a Boxing Day sale.
I thought it was funny, Fox. That was pretty good.
I thought it was good.
So, I find it really hard.
Reference.
Yeah, I find it really hard to grade AtGames. Like, they're 100% the product of the year by default because nothing came out. People keep saying, like, add P-dubs to the panel. Guys, we're not stopping him. He has had the link.
He's got the link. Yeah, guys.
He's not being held out. People are like, free P-dubs. He's got to take down AtGames.
And just so you know, everybody in the chat, just so you know, he keeps sending me pictures of his middle finger. Like, that's just what he does. So I don't know. What's going on?
It was so funny because I gave P-dubs a little bit of a razz on Super Game Room Dudes, and he got mad at me, and he was like, "You're gonna make me a murder." And people did believe it. They were like, "You're only keeping P-dubs down to, prop up AtGames." So
I think weird. Let's see. Well, Patrick, you have to die to become a martyr. Let's hope that doesn't happen. For God's sakes, man. I think. But to be fair, okay, I can sit back. I don't even have one. Right? Got no skin in this game. When I buy it, I'm probably going to have to pay full price. I don't give a shit. Whatever. It is what it is. I think you're probably underselling it. I think that it's not going to win by default because nothing else came out. I think that after they cleared the hurdles, right, the lag, and they had the DSN failure, fault, whatever, I think that when you get beyond that, it's a pretty good product with access to hundreds of different tables. Tens of tables.
Because when you realize the Zachariah tables are realistically like 5 different versions of the same game, you're in the
tens.
It
doesn't matter. So is there a number? Total number of tables, do you know? Is it 700?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but we're getting close to 200 if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you have access to hundreds? Is that fair to say?
It doesn't matter.
A couple hundred?
It doesn't matter. They have access to all the best ones. The Williams are the best, and if they only had that, it would be amazing.
But I think it matters because if you buy an arcade 1-up, for example, your buy-in price is $500, and you have access to 14 games. That's it, and that's all you have.
Fair.
So to get access to another 14 games, you have to spend $500 more to get access to 14 other more games, right? So it's you son of a bitch.
Honestly, P-dubs is the biggest sad sack in the gaming community. They didn't send me the link. They're mean to me.
So I guess to put a button on it, I think that I don't own an AtGames 4KP, so I guess I can't give them an A. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's worth the price of admission. I think it's worth about $1,500. If you can get your hands on the full deal. I want the topper. I want everything. I want all the features. So that's going to be $1,600. That's fine. Is the SSF kit that everybody tells me is awesome?
Oh, so good.
Do you think, Mike, it's really worth $400? Seriously?
Well, it was $299 during the sale.
Oh, $300. Right? I'm sorry, $300.
Yeah, $300, and that was a really good price. So, and when you buy the machine, they give you a coupon. I don't know if that's still available, but that was in the sales as well for $100 off. So even if it's not on sale, you still get the $100 off. The thing to keep in mind, I will say, is this is not pinball for everybody. The AtGames Legends Pinball 4KP is not meant to be pinball for everybody. It is 100% their premium product. They know that. If you want to play pinball on their ecosystem, you got a Honda budget, you're going to buy the ALP. But if you want to buy a Lexus, you're buying the ALP 4K. That's exactly how it was explained to me. That's AtGames theory. So, I feel the community saying, I wish it was cheaper. It needs to be cheaper for me to pick it up. I don't think it is ever going to be cheaper, but it's a really good product. And that's, you're 100% right. Like we're saying wins by default, but it's still a really good product. It's a lot of fun. It's really good quality. So
I don't want to undersell the achievements, which are, I think, valid. I mean, nothing is perfect. They had a messed up, like they tripped out of the starting gate, right? They had some issues in the beginning, but I think they've overcome that for the most part. This is by far not. Oh my God.
Yeah, because P-Dubs was going to retire, right?
Yeah, he was totally going to retire
Right.
for real, though. Okay, so I plan to get one. I think everybody knew that. I'm obviously clearing out space.
I thought you hated AtGames. You're an AtGames hater, from what I understand.
I do, until I hate them until I love them. But I have a huge, one of the biggest. I'm sounding Donald Trump. It's going to be huge. I have a massive pickup coming in next week. I'm very, 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 very excited about it. So the arcade, that's been the priority. But after that, I'm shifting things around, and the 4KP is in the calculus. It's got a spot kind of picked out. I'm going to pick one up. Justin, are you going to pick one up?
This is what I've been thinking about for a while. I don't know. Like, I've been playing Zen games on Switch, and I actually pressed the button, that switches it, and started playing it on the side.
So,
and believe it or not, it was pretty enjoyable. And it made me think, what if I just got like, I don't know, like a $500 OLED, or they probably don't make them for $500, right? Find an LCD that's 42-inch and get one of those rack mounts, and then kind of build my own. Could you build your own Zen table without legs? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you can build a kit. You can get a kit for about $750. That is all the wood to assemble your own machine. Mm-hmm. But then you got to pay for the PC. You got to pay for everything like that. And I was like, what if you just buy the screen? And I think Buy Stuff has a kit, right, where they're just a mount, and you're like, hey, look, you can mount a screen vertically now.
TV mount. Yeah, it's like $750 US.
I've looked into it. I can't build one for less.
Right. But
I can't. I can't.
And so when you look into that, you're like, or you got a turnkey product for about double the price, about $1,500, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's $2,000 at the end of the day, but I'm not interested in the topper at all. Like,
I know you're not interested. I know you're not interested in the topper. I know you're not interested in topper at all. And some people aren't interested in many things, but a lot of people are interested in what P-Dubs has to say. The man, the myth, the legend is here. The mayor is here.
Hey,
what's going on, buddy?
What's up? Thank you for finally sending me the link.
Yeah.
We were
I
giving you away, man. Like, we were
You
trying
were
to hold you down.
Hold
trying to
me
keep him down.
You were trying to hold me down.
So we're talking about the Legends, and it's the Legends 4KP, and those announcements of those Williams table, like, all of them are great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you look at every single one, I'm like, oh my God, they're coming out with that game? There's literally no other way to play that game except for Zen.
I felt really bad when the Zen Studios 2025 lineup came out, and I made a very positive video about it, because honestly, I think it's a fantastic 2025 lineup by Zen Studios, and I felt really bad because all the YouTubers who suck up to PK were like, there's nothing to clip to send to PK and tell him how mean P-Dubs is so we can get more free pinball packs. We can't clip any of this shit.
Yeah. That is exactly how they're paid. They're just like, P-Dub said that you had a funny smell. Oh, here's your pinball pack.
One pinball pack at a time, baby.
When you exist outside the arcade, the home arcade bubble, this is what you got to do.
But this, I think this is what everyone wants to know. The grade A, B, D, or F. Looking at what AtGames has done this year, what do you think?
Can we count that they're coming out with more games in 2025?
No. 24 within the hard wall.
Well, see, this ranking system is so nuts, anyways, because we graded kind of New Wave Toys on their announcements.
It's the best in the world.
You graded New Wave Toys on their announcements of what was coming out in future years.
We're making up the rules as we go. This is Dallas.
Well, AtGames really screwed up by accidentally leaking the Tomb Raider game for Zen Studios, because that was not officially announced. Mel Kirk on his Zen Studios Discord, he put a nice comment in there, but that was for his fans. And, he's like, well, something got leaked today that shouldn't have, and it wasn't approved or anything, but it's out there now. Merry Christmas. That's what he said. So he handled it well publicly, but privately behind the scenes, guys, there were a ton of F-bombs dropped at AtGames, and there's all kinds of behind the scenes drama going on
They
there.
sent a cease and desist to P-dubs again.
And in fact, if you guys noticed, they haven't reposted the Zen Studios lineup for 2025. They haven't reposted it, even by just removing Tomb Raider and reposting it. They haven't reposted it, guys. Why is that? Because Zen Studios told them they're not allowed to anymore.
I see. They're like,
Zen,
we will
Zen
do all
Studios
of the...
is so mad at AtGames, they are not letting them repost the schedule.
You know what's funny?
That is hilarious.
When I watch the Pinball Bites, I'm kind of like, what if Pinball Bites was the announcements for the AtGames games?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Like it feels like it fit right in. And for the also because the Pinball Bites doesn't, I don't notice it. Maybe they have in the past. Do they often mention AtGames as an available platform? Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe they could do more of that because the last few that I watched.
So everybody, so just so you know, a rank or a grade of B was issued to AtGames with a percentage of 44%. The most enthusiastic vote count so far, 82 votes. We had A coming in second place with 26%.
Okay.
D with 15%, and F.
Let me ask the chat this. Let me ask the chat this. If it wasn't until September and October when the latency improvements went in, because keep in mind,
and no announcement of what's coming out in 25.
If the fixes didn't come in, and because we've only had the fixes for about 3 months, guys, what would you have given them instead? Tell me in the chat. You just type it in, BADF. Let me know what you think it would have been. Because here's what's amazing to me, right? AtGames would have had an F year, in my opinion, if it wasn't for the fact that those latency improvements came out. And they came out, and they've only been out for a couple of months. And, typically in the home arcade scene, we're like, what have you done for me lately, right? Like, we forget all the past. We forget the fact that for 9 months, this product was in people's homes and did not work correctly. But they got it fixed. And after they got it fixed, they did release a lot of games, a lot of good games over the last couple of months, as well as make announcements, do a crap ton of sales, affiliate programs, doing whatever they can. And it's like people forgot, guys, that for 9 months, this product was terrible. It was terrible for 9 months. So you have to give credit to AtGames for that, is the fact that in the last 3 months of the year definitely saved 2024 for them, is what I'm trying to say. Because the first 9 months, I was ready to throw my 4K pinball machine in the garbage because it was unplayable. It was unplayable.
So what
as a non-early adopter, I was happy I didn't buy it. And that's an indictment of the company in the beginning of the launch, because I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I feel no need, no FOMO whatsoever to get into this ecosystem when all the problems are having. I'll just sit back and I'll pay full price in a year or two. Go ahead.
The lesson we learn here is the home arcade community is very interesting. You can win the community back. Let's say, for example, there was a content creator in the community that did something so horrible that everyone's writing him off.
Look,
could be her.
We didn't mean to e-beg for Mike to get super chats to take his shirt off. Okay, you don't have to bring that up.
He is an attractive man.
Right. So, how much did
we were in the moment?
I think
the community forgives Mike for taking his shirt off.
We were in the moment. We wanted to see him.
How much did Mike make, or how much did P-Dubs? How much did Super Game Room dudes make for the shirt thing?
I don't think we made that much. We got a very small payment.
$12. I think it was 12.
So he shilled for $8. This is what he should do.
I've taken my
He should
clothes
do
off for
another
less.
stream where he gives away $8.
No,
if he
I
gave
don't think
away
I'll be doing that.
$8,
I don't
then
like
maybe
giving
they'd be like,
stuff to
"This
the
is a
community."
nice guy."
No, that's Mike's $8. He earned it. He took
That's
his
my
shirt off.
$8. I want to spend it on hookers and
Yeah.
blow.
No, I think
You're not gonna buy
no.
much of each with $8.
You're like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna give away that amount.
Justin
And
is going to give
speaking-
away $8 as reparations for
Yes,
my
pay
stripping.
reparations.
And speaking of giving things away, how about giving away 50% on a Build-A-Cade? That's right. The next topic is Glenn GRS.
That says
What do you think
30%.
about Thunderstick Studios and what they brought to the market in 2024?
Well, obviously we have to give them an A, or people will go nuts. I mean, you cannot say
No,
anything critical about Glenn.
all grades are on the table.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like this slide.
he's in the chat.
Name
and,
all
we're
the
gonna give him
things on
down.
here that actually came out in 2024.
The Build-A-Cade,
That came out
the
earlier.
the Akari joystick.
That came out earlier.
But it's available. And
You're just making up
trackball.
slides as we go.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's no rules to this at all.
Well, wait, didn't the Akari Warriors joystick come out in December of last
Nope.
year?
Yeah,
No, it came out in 23. He gave us one at Cleveland.
Yeah.
So it's been out. I think the biggest thing is.
Yeah.
So in
the
other words,
most-
Glenn has made nothing this year.
Well, this is for
Empty
the public to
promises.
decide.
That's all he's made. He said he was going to make
This-
an arcade with a 26-inch screen.
So I think he gets an F because he didn't make
That's-
anything this year.
Well, this is up for discussion. I think that it's notable his partnership with New Wave Toys, which is definitely something to consider, and the fact that we're getting the glowy red trackball, which is, it's kind of cool. There's that of note, but beyond that, in the Build-A-Cade small version, and then the FU size.
That's next year. We can't count. It doesn't count.
Let's grade Glenn on how many people he's told to fuck you in the last.
That's a great.
That's a good one.
Do that. Yeah.
And also,
That's
he
gonna be
did
for
make
that.
something this year, the KVM switch, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's not even on your slide.
Well, the slide is I only had room for so much.
It-
The Viper board is available this year. That's another thing. The iArcade board, is that available yet? I don't think it is it?
Okay,
available
this is
for
my understanding.
pre-order.
I gave Glenn
Yeah.
money because his
Oh,
website
God.
is super confusing.
Oh boy.
You go to his website, he says he has a KVM switch available. The text in it is very confusing. I was like, does the KVM switch come with a Viper board? And in a live chat, he said it does, so I pre-ordered it. He said, if I have an iArcade control panel, if I have an iArcade and his control panel,
Yes.
then investing in his KVM switch will give me everything I need. So to me, sounds like the pre-order will give me a KVM switch and a Viper board. And if that's accurate, he's going to say so in the chat. And for that, I give him an A.
How many? I think he's at 110 sold so far, and he needs like 250. Is that the goal?
Something like that.
So everybody, you have to buy one, or everybody gets mad at you. We cannot ever do anything to upset Glenn. That's the rules in the home arcade community. So everybody, get their wallets out, buy these now, or you're fucking shit.
Yeah.
I think Glenn's got pretty broad shoulders. I think he's fine.
I know.
I think
Yeah.
he'll be,
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
200's the goal. So we're most of the way there, guys. I think that the challenge is finding people that still have their arcades. You look at like P-dubs and even myself, like after a while we were just like, fuck this shit, and we got rid of our arcades. I bought mine back because of course mystery encoder Nix gave me that board at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, and I was like, I'll play around with it, I'll be a tinkerer, which I still haven't done yet. But how many people still have these, right? And I noticed the other Nix on Super Game Room Dude's Facebook page there the other day. He was telling people, guys, go out and buy a second one because you never know if it'll break. Can you imagine that theory behind an arcade one-up? Everybody go out and buy a second claw machine because you never know.
No, I don't recommend that. That is not endorsed for the 19K Fox channel. Oh my God, no. I think that the big thing for me is going to be the promise of a new day, the promise of the full size. It didn't come to fruition, but the partnership with New Wave Toys is a big development. I think it's cool. Once you temper your expectations and realize what this is, I think this is a good thing. I think we're waiting for the Build-A-Cade FU version. Yeah, it's going to be nice. But that, first of all, it was never promised this year as far as to be delivered. So we can't hold it against him. It does factor into maybe what we can look forward to, but it's almost out of the discussion for this year. All we can look at is what has happened this year. And the Viper board is available now for purchase. The arcade is a pre-order item, so it hasn't come out yet. So the only thing we have to work with is the Viper board and really what he's done with New Wave Toys, which also hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Golden Tee with Glenn's trackball controller, so I'm looking forward to receiving those. I think Shiloh said the update would be first quarter, so probably in the next couple of months we should hopefully see those. And I know it's Golden Tee, and Mike always makes fun of Golden Tee, but according to Glenn, it is the premier way to play Golden Tee. So Glenn, you sold me on it, bro. I look forward
Glenn,
to it.
who has no skin in the game, says it's
He's
the premier way
bias.
to play Golden Tee.
No bias. No bias. I'm excited about it. And what I do like, the one critical thing I brought up about New Wave Toys this year during when they were announcing these control panels was I love the partnership with Glenn, but I don't want to buy 6 machines and have 6 different control panels, right? Because the guys, I already have, I don't know about you guys, I got piles of control panels everywhere. All over this
Look at
damn
that polycade. You got like 7 control panels
Yeah.
right there on
Luckily,
the wall.
luckily, those are hung on the wall. But like my Gamer Pros, my Gamer Minis, my Pandora Box Fight Sticks, my Mortal Kombat. You know the special Mortal Kombat fight stick that came out.
Yeah. There's one for sale here now for $200.
Yeah, I have that one. Like, they're piled up. It's just piles of control panels. I didn't want them, but the fact that like the Golden Tee control panel will work on Crystal Castles and vice versa. Technically, you only need to buy one, and after that, you can hopefully just buy the replicades that it's compatible with. So I pre-ordered Golden Tee with the trackball, and I pre-ordered Crystal Castles, just the replicate, because I didn't need to get both, right? So yeah, I'm pretty excited about those.
But next year, the FU has storage for your control panels. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
Yeah, but for all your
Polycade's
control
gotta hang it
panels,
on the
not just the
wall.
ones for the FU, all your control panels. A lot
Control
of people
panels
don't know
for other
this,
shit. Just
but
other
P-Dubs
stuff. Just
actually
random
has
stuff.
2 lofts in his house. One is his arcade loft. The other
There's a
is his
second
control
loft.
All
panel
control
loft.
panels.
It's all control panels.
I don't think home arcade companies realize how important storage is to us. Like, for instance,
It's very important. Yeah.
you guys know my Chulix, right? My candy cab. It's got plenty of internal storage, and inside of that storage, I have like 3 or 4 mini PCs, several Pandora boxes. Because you know what, this crap piles up in your house, right? Like when you accumulate so much, and anywhere I can find a drawer or a shelf to put stuff in, I'm gonna use it, right? Like when you look at do you guys remember the base to the iArcade? The base to the iArcade was massive, right?
Yeah.
It
It's
was
where you can
huge.
put your weed.
And it had tons of space inside of it. And can you imagine if, like, I don't know, if it had a door,
Right.
like maybe a door hidden in the back or on the side or something, so you could use that storage space.
Yeah,
to
like a
tuck
hamper.
things
You
in.
can put like dirty clothes in there and stuff.
Yeah, like something because man, this stuff really clutters up your home, guys. This hobby really does. So I'll take all the storage I can get.
I think that'd be a great idea to seriously have a
Yeah.
number of shelves underneath your control panel and to be able to have just multiple control panels. That would make sense. And just for the record, Glenn, 64 votes, 50% gives him an A.
So I'm going to say
Virtue
something.
signaling at its best.
I know.
At
I'm going to
its
say
finest.
compliment sandwich now about Glenn and the full size unit. So, Glenn, I love the fact that the full size unit is so easily changeable into a Nintendo style cab. But I'm going to be honest with you, outside of the Nintendo style cab, I find the shape to be a little off-putting. And I wouldn't be very interested in modifying an arcade or putting other art on it because of the shape itself. So I would love to see 2 versions of the FU, if possible. One that has that shape for people to do the Nintendo one, and one that actually looks like an arcade cabinet. And then the other positive is, Glenn, you've got a nice smile.
Great smile.
Wow.
Great
Pretty
smile.
good. I like what you're saying, Mike, but I think we need to do a better job, and I don't think we can solve it here.
No.
But I heard the
Perhaps
things
not,
that you
yeah.
said to Unico, and then I saw the outcome. I think you need to make videos to give someone like Glenn feedback, but with pictures. Like pay Mason to like mock up something or do it yourself, whatever, you cheap bastard. And then, put it out there and be like, Glenn, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Because earlier we were talking about content creators being influencers to the companies that make products. But I think where we're failing is in our communication. Like if we fail to communicate and then the audience is like, we agree with you, Michael B. We agree with you, Fox and Dubs and Justin. We totally want that. But they misinterpret what you're talking about, and they're like, "You mean this?" We're like, no, that's not what we meant. And then all of a sudden, we're blaming them for misinterpreting what we're saying.
Yeah, just put some
I think
Neo
you
Geo
should-
stickers on it. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Moving on to Evercade. So this is
what a year for Evercade. Holy
talk
cow.
about it.
They
Isn't it
fired
crazy?
Nostalgia, made some good products.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, that's the first thing they did is fire Nostalgia. And then once he was out of the way, they made real progress.
That's right.
In the home arcade segment. Now their cartridges are separated by arcade, home consoles, and home computers. They've definitely introduced a product that I think was several products. I think that were actually, dare I say, bangers. Guys, what do you think about Evercade this year?
Can I go first?
You can.
I think personally, 2023, I was really losing interest in Evercade. I've bought their EXP, I have their VS console, I have their original handheld, and I own about 30 cartridges that I've paid for myself out of my own pocket, right? But 2023, it was Mike, settle down.
Wait, what'd you say? What'd you say, Mike?
Mike's trying to interrupt my speech. This is my elevator pitch.
Let him cook.
Let the man
cook.
breathe. Let him work.
Let me cook, Mike. Jeez,
Let the man cook.
I waited an hour and 40 minutes before coming on. I gave you
He's in
plenty
his
of
kitchen.
time, Mike. I give you plenty of shine. But what's funny is, so 2023, I'll be honest, guys, I was losing interest. I was like, yeah, they're releasing arcade carts now, but big whoop, right? Like, but look at everything that's happened in 2024, all the different mini players. And the mini players are really cool. People love them.
So
They're
cool.
cheap. They're fun. They got built-in games. You could also play your cartridges on them. It's a great entryway to get into the Evercade universe, as well as to play their games and get in at a cheaper cost point, right? And then the Evercade Alpha, honestly, is a pretty damn good bar top, despite what the haters say about it. It is really fun to play the arcade cartridges that they have on that bar top. And even when I reviewed it, I said, guys, I tried playing the console games, the red cartridges on here. It's honestly not as fun. It's not as fun. There's a few console games that can translate to a fun arcade experience, like platformer games. But I was like, really, as long as they keep releasing a lot of arcade carts, it's a fun way to just kick back one day and say, you know what, I'm going to play a bunch of arcade carts on this mini arcade machine. And it's a really solid product. So, also with the announcements of Capcom, Tomb Raider, all that shit, and then sure enough, at the end of the year, next year, Neo Geo and stuff, I think Evercade's doing great things. I don't have really much negative to say about them.
I have a quick question just to prompt you for more speaking.
Yes.
What are the negative people saying about the Evercade? The alpha, what is the
Well,
countercade
because
one?
it's a bar top, it's not a 3/4 scale. They would have been better if they did
Yeah.
a bigger machine. Blah blah blah. Hold on, my wife is bringing me alcohol.
That's a good woman. That's a good woman. Hey,
Yeah.
I
She doesn't want to come on camera. I got to go get it.
she's incredible. I think, but I mean, to that point though, isn't this a way that they should go? Start small and build up to the 3/4.
It's a
if that's
double
eventually where
shot.
they're going to go.
Yeah, so
I was thinking the same thing, Fox. Like, dip your toe in the water, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
They
this was
built an ecosystem.
This was a good test. I will say I give them a lot of credit for the games they got last year, like going out getting Tomb Raider, Legacy of Kain, step in the right direction. The one thing I will say about Evercade that is always going to hold me back from going all in on Evercade and being a huge fan of them is they've had the ability to get some partnerships, but it always feels like there's a reminiscence of iArcade when it comes to Evercade, the quality of the games they release and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so like, I think like hardware wise, all that stuff, but I don't know. They've got a great fan base, but I don't know what the long term is for Evercade unless they start bringing in more of those big name publishers and getting them on carts and stuff like that.
I mean, iArcade never got Capcom, though. Come on.
Well, it's Capcom with an asterisk here. Let's be honest, because it's Capcom on the device, but there's no cartridge.
On the device. Yeah. Neo Geo is something that's got me excited. The SNK titles, they seem to be whoring themselves out a bit as far as what they're going to put their stuff on.
They tend to do that.
Is it going to be a cartridge, which is the best way, I think, to get into that? I mean, if you can get it on a cartridge and play it on multiple devices, that's the best way to go. But God forbid we get an official MVS branded device, whether it's a handheld, whether it's a super pocket. I would absolutely kill for another alpha, but it looks like a big red.
We talked about that. Yeah.
I mean, my God, that would I've got my big blue, big red sitting next to it with a little marquee. That would be just a thing of beauty, and then give me the cartridges. And I don't mind paying for the Metal Slug collection, the World Fighters collection, whatever, the Samurai Showdown collection. I'll buy them all.
So
spoiler
what
alert.
I think they should do,
call it a 2-slot and a 4-slot.
Yes.
Even
oh
if,
my
even
god!
if there's
they
like,
had what if they had a 4-slot?
4-slot, right?
4-slot alpha.
Right.
The Evercade 4-slot alpha, you could put 4 cartridges in.
Dude, 4 cartridges.
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
That would be the greatest idea. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I love that.
Swappable marquees, 100%.
I heard a
love
rumor.
that idea.
I heard a rumor though they got the SNK license, and all they're gonna do is buy these cheap Alibaba handhelds and then put stickers on them and sell
We're
them that
thinking about
way.
another company. That's another company we're going to get to later.
You can only blame yourself, Mike.
I mean the alphas are cool bar tops. There's some things that you think they kind of wasted money on that could have gone into making the machines just more universal, because they had deluxe and standard, and really the only difference was real Sanwa controls, and you get 6 marquees versus 3.
Right.
That's the only difference between the 2 versions.
Well,
honestly, guys, paying whatever. I don't know how much. I'm assuming licensing fees for each marquee for each game. Like I don't see any reason to swap marquees. Like I really don't, because
but it's not going to match the rest of the cabinet.
The bezel artwork, the side panel artwork, the control panel artwork, it doesn't match. Like I showed in my video, I held up I think it was like the Final Fight marquee or something to the Mega Man cab, and I was like, why would you even put this in?
No.
With a Mega Man bezel and Mega Man control panel, Mega Man side art. It makes no sense. It's like they should have just, not wasted money on that.
I bought the deluxe for the controller. I wanted that official controller for the alpha.
Yeah. So I've heard a rumor that every questionable decision with the alpha, like the changeable marquees and stuff like that, John D's involvement.
Oh, I thought it was nostalgia.
And it's cool that you can do it. It's just, I agree. I just don't see the point. And I find the replacement marquees don't even sit in that well. Like there's some light bleed and stuff like that. I would have rather just had like a standard marquee.
But here's what you could have done. You could have had just a big blue cabinet that was just blue, and you could have had a black monitor bezel, and the control panel could have been just the standard Capcom, just graphite, and then it would have kind of made sense. But because everything is Street Fighter 2 specific or Mega Man specific, it looks weird to swap out the marquees.
So I think I don't think Evercade people are watching this content. But,
they totally are.
but I think the swappable marquee can work. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not a bad idea. No, it's not a bad idea. It was just a bad implementation. But imagine Neo Geo is perfect, right? Do the swappable marquee on.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Right.
That's how they were made. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Right.
Makes more sense on that than the Mega Man and the Street Fighter.
Yeah. Or imagine if Arcade 1-Up did for the X-Men cabinet, did a swappable marquee. And they're like, we got you. Come standard is 2 marquees. You have to install them, so pick one, and you can swap it out later. And we'll do an X-Men 97 marquee. So you don't have to do the X-Men 97 mod. You can keep all the same artwork on the side, but you get 2 options. I think there's a scenario where a cab could have swappable marquee, or like a Pac-Man. It's like, do you want the standard Pac-Man art, or do you want this other Pac-Man art? Like you get to choose. It just depends on the title. Like P-Dubs, you were making a point. It doesn't make sense when it's a mashup of the skin on the artwork is Street Fighter, but then you want like something completely different in the marquee.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks weird. You put a Final Fight marquee on the Mega Man one, and you got the Mega Man bezel right beneath it.
Yeah.
It does not look
That's
good.
where it
Like,
doesn't
you put
work.
the Strider marquee in, it does not look good. It's like, why are we even including these? It doesn't make sense.
It's funny because the way that the original marquee or the original arcades were done, the big blues were made generic for that very purpose. All you would have to do is swap in a marquee. So they could have had a big blue, and it just said Capcom on the side with yellow sticker that just says Capcom, as generic and bland as possible, and then it would sort of make sense.
Yeah.
They kind of missed the mark. They went too far in one direction. Now, how much of that is Evercade? How much of that is Capcom? I don't know.
How much of that is John D?
Well, John D is to blame for everything.
Yeah,
just to be clear, like he's screwed up everything.
Well,
do you hear John D is doing MetaQuest 3 stuff now?
Oh my
Fuck.
God.
Is that why?
I gotta sell
Mike-
that shit
Mike,
too.
is that why you're
More
covering
now.
it?
Well, when you think about it,
So, anyways, I heard a rumor. No, go ahead. Sorry, beat ups.
Patrick, go ahead.
Evercade's at a point now where they have the it hits all price points for getting into their ecosystem. Whether you want a cheap Hyper Megatech Pocket, if you want to get the EXPR because the original handheld's canceled, you want to get the VSR console, and now you also have this arcade machine. So whether you're looking for $55 up to $300, you can get into their ecosystem, right? I'm
Although,
hoping next year in 2025, they focus mostly on all this IP, SNK cards, SNK games, as well as releasing just more games, less hardware. The only hardware I expect to see is like an SNK Hyper Megatech, maybe an SNK Alpha Arcade, kind of like a Big Red. You know what I mean? Maybe an SNK themed VSR. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect them to come out with like, oh, here's our new console that's even more powerful, and then everyone gets pissed. Like they have 4 or 5 hardware options. Focus on the games next year is my personal hope for Evercade. Just focus on the games, but obviously capitalize on the SNK.
and come out with an XL.
Yeah. Come out with a big cab. But can we go back to that slide for a second? I really want to show something here. We talked about AtGames trying to get, offering the Mercedes-Benz with the 4KP and then the HD product.
Right.
But the problem is you can't play the Mercedes-Benz games on your Toyota. So if you take a look at what Evercade did here that was smarter, they released a product that allows you to play everything that you can on the more expensive Evercade products for a much more affordable price. So that's what AtGames should be looking at. If you want to grow your user base and you want to get more people buying your 4K and buying your 4K games, see if there's an in-between. I don't think it's a Legends Pinball Micro 4K, but if you do one with like 24-inch screen, you make it like a little bit smaller, make it kind of like the Hyper Megatech, and it has the same guts, Sony guts. What?
Like an iPad app? Could AtGames make an app? I mean, something bonehead simple as that, and you got to buy individual tables.
Why would you buy it on an iPad app when Pinball FX already has their own, right?
But if you're talking about the barrier of entry, I mean, some kind of a branding,
I would like to see like something like this, like a Hyper Megatech AtGames level. If there's some way they could do that, I think that's the way to get to the cheaper price point, to the people complaining about more price, not so much trying to sell your 4K yet.
I think they should go smaller, Mike. I think
yes,
what they need to
that's
do
exactly what
is-
I said. Yeah.
Yes.
but even smaller, a Legends Core Max 4K that actually does a minimum 2 screen output, so you could make a mini virtual pinball machine for it.
Oh, I see.
But also because think about it, AtGames did not sell enough pinball machines the first year, guys. Accept it. They sold 3,000 or less 4K pinball machines, way behind their goals. They need to add more users. They need to get more users quickly. One way you could do that is you put out a hockey puck that's maybe, I don't know, $200-$300, and it's got the improved hardware on it, plus the ability to do at least 2 screens, minimum 2 HDMI outs, so people could make their own pinball machines.
You could upgrade your HD.
Like you could make your own sharpened virtual pinball machine, or you could upgrade your HD pinball machine using the Legends Core.
You have to get your own monitor, but
and that'll get more people in your ecosystem buying the Zen games. Because keep in mind, guys, if you don't think Zen cares that AtGames only sold 3,000 pinball machines, and every time they release a pinball game, maybe 2,000 people buy the game.
Right.
If you don't think Zen cares about that, they sure as shit do, and there's pressure. Why do you think in the last quarter it was sales, affiliate links, sales, sell as many units as possible? They need to hit their quotas, and they are so far behind.
Well, do you really think what they were doing with the affiliate links was like a productive form of like that affiliate link?
Don't get me
program
started on that program.
Was so stupid. Like if you want to sell these with the affiliate link, you reach out, you're like, hey, Linus Tech Tips, hey, RGT85. You don't reach out within our community to people that are already talking to people that have already bought the product. Like
maybe
it's just
they
so
did,
backwards.
and they said,
but
no.
But in today's economy, inflation, there's a lot of people in the home arcade community. People in your chat have said tonight, Fox, that they can't afford the 4KP pinball machine.
Absolutely.
But if you give them a 4KP hockey puck that's maybe $200-$300, most of the community can afford that.
Do you think that they didn't really want to do the hockey puck because they were banking on the what is it, the Legends Voyager? That was going to be their new puck, the handheld that could dock. And maybe that's what that'll be.
I don't even know if it was a dockable handheld. All they said
Oh
was,
yeah, it was
guys,
dockable.
we're coming out with a Legends Voyager, and then it disappeared into nothingness.
The ether.
So I have no idea.
I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, guys, now on Evercade. 47% give it an A. Not too shabby. About 64 votes, so a little bit more than Glenn, but less than other topics. 46%. So not too shabby. I think Evercade, to me, Evercade should have got more votes than that. I think they really they've exceeded my standards.
Could you pull up your slide for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I think we would get a lot of votes if that 229 was 179.
179 or 199?
Yeah, there's an option for another product there in that 179, and honestly, I think it should be that Alpha. I mean, I didn't buy one, but I probably would have at 179.
I think the pricing on this kind of flows with the market, right? Like the Evercade Alpha offers you more bang for your buck compared to an Arcade 1-Up countercade.
Mm-hmm.
Arcade 1-Up countercades are like 179, 180 bucks, sometimes 199, depending on the retailer. So for an extra 30 bucks, you get the swappable cart ecosystem. I mean, honestly, the pricing makes sense for the market. But would we all like to see it cheaper? Hell yeah, we would like to see it cheaper. Yeah. Nobody wants these things to be more expensive.
No.
You know what the crazy thing is? They were originally going to sell it for $169, but then John D got involved and said it's got to have swappable marquees. Rolls the price up by $40. Fucked everybody.
I love what Evercade does. Like the user interface is the same no matter what device you have. So all the settings and all the hidden games and all that stuff, it's the same experience, whether it's an EXPR, whether it's an alpha, whether it's a whatever. I think that's really kind of cool. And it makes that experience, it definitely elevates it beyond an Arcade 1-Up, which is a pretty bare bones experience. And that was fine when it was new, but now that it's not new anymore, they've definitely raised the game. Now, I don't think that Arcade 1-Up's going to rise to that challenge at all. I think they're going to continue to strip things down. So yeah, it would be nice if it was cheaper, but it is pretty easy once you look at it to see what you're getting for the money. And it's really, I think it's a decent value, especially if you get the bare bones basic version for like $230.
I mean, none of this stuff is bad quality. I mean, for $100 to get a handheld the quality of the Evercade EXP. I mean, the VS as a console, you look at other companies, they're just taking Android boxes and putting Unico stickers
and they're absolute garbage.
Neo Geo stickers on them.
Yeah. It's absolutely great. It's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah, because the next one we're going to talk about is not Unico. It's a very regional company, somewhat like a paper company.
Can we skip it?
But also, this should be really quick. This shouldn't take long at all. But guys, what are your thoughts on
what a piece of shit?
Mike, let us know, buddy. Preach.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. At full price, I mean, with the quality of the product, the look of the product, I will say the international one definitely looks better than the one we got in Canada. I think that there's opportunity here, but it's opportunity at a lower price point. The price point in Canada, what it dropped to, is probably the magic price point for this. It only has like a 21-inch screen. The wood is super thin. Raspberry Pi, Justin is like one of the greatest computer minds of my circle, but yet he didn't know how to set up a Raspberry Pi. So how many fucking people actually do in the general community? I can tell you right now, I get nonstop messages from my friends that bought these, and they're like, how do you add games to it? And I'm like, leave me alone.
Go away. I had to put 520 with an asterisk because it's euro. It's €4.99 euro. It's not even available as far as I can find now currently in the States.
They did reach out to me after I did my video on the $2.99 arcades, and they said that they were they said that they were going to be doing a North American release, but I mean, guys, unless this goes on sale the same way here in Canada, I can't recommend this over other products that already exist in the market. I think
no content creators have really covered this thing because it's like a Canada exclusive product.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
There's another Canadian guy that did a review on it. But it's
Daniel.
a 20.
Yeah.
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 But it's
But-
like 21-inch 16:9, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the wood on this thing is
So
like
thin.
it's like a lambskin condom. Like you hardly know it's there. You know what I mean? It's incredible. But this is when this first got announced, we all overhyped it because we were super fucking making fun of it. You remember, Mike?
Oh yeah, someone even started a Facebook fan page.
We're like, dude, it was like, but it was so funny. Like, Mike, the rumors are, Mike, that Iconic Arcade is partnering with Unico, Evercade. Mike will be the
Oh my God.
genie.
What the
John
best
D.
companies in the world coming together.
They are making this huge conglomerate to release the arcade of your dreams.
So as much as that, like that person obviously needs to find something to do with his life to come up with these rumors. I bought a Quest 3 too, so Quest 3 is working with John D, who's secretly
talking
working with the Lizard people.
When you
to
say
take
that
totally
over
working
person,
with Quest
I'm not
3,
in the
you know
loop.
that,
Who are you
right?
talking about?
Rexer. So, anyways, I will say as much as his theory is just like batshit crazy. One thing though, John D did call me like the same day, and he's like, "Yo, do you want an official statement on this?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm good. I'm just
John
gonna do a
D's all
show
like,
making fun
want
of
How
it
it."
did
at
he
all.
find
No,
out?
no.
Yeah. So
Did
like,
he confirm to you that it's true by him going, how did he find out?
No, here's the thing. Like, he was like, "Do you want an official statement?" I was like, "Why is John so worried about this crazy rumor?" That's all I'll say.
You know why? I think you know why, Mike.
Yeah, I know, because it's the Raspberry Pi piece. He has been out telling people about it all along. It's not a surprise anymore. Someone's already brought it up. Yeah.
Wait, what?
John D.
What Raspberry Pi?
Well, the arcade runs off of
The iconic
Raspberry
arcade
Pi.
Raspberry Pi?
No. John, the rumor is John's Arcade, the one that he's coming out with, is Pi
The
powered.
YouTuber, John's Arcade?
I wish that's a much better John.
Are you talking about John
That'd be
D?
a way better.
Are you talking about John
You got to
D's
say John D. Be descriptive.
Wait,
The
John
John
D's
D.
Media 1-Up is going to be a Raspberry Pi machine?
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I heard. That's the rumor.
That can't be
But
true, can
It's
it?
a Pi 2,
that
though.
true?
He's going back.
It's a Pi 2.
That's the rumor.
It's just a Pi 2. Also
Guys,
Countercade.
It's a Pi
John
1.
Media 1-Up is releasing their first ever game. It is coming with a Pi Zero, and you can play Snake on it. Get hyped.
But it's
Get
the
ready.
good Snake on the Nokia.
It's
780.
officially
It's
licensed
awesome.
Snake, the Snake Arcade.
It's got a
Oh.
2-inch BOE monitor.
Yes.
Don't.
BOE.
I haven't talked to John in months. Is this true that he's doing a Pi?
It's
Is that
actually
true?
got Glenn's Viper board in it.
Yeah, he went through a third-party conglomerate, bought all the
pretty
Viper
good.
boards. It's
Glenn's all like, I
He
sold a
bought all
ton
the-
all of a sudden.
It's like Batman Begins when he bought everything from a third party. He
But-
bought all
and then
Glenn's
here's
I
the
boards.
crazy
really
thing.
hope that's not true.
Here's the crazy
John,
thing.
if you're out there, I hope
It's
that's
the
not true.
best troll ever.
Here's
That
the
can't
crazy.
be real.
Here's the crazy thing, though. Arcade 1-Up got wind of what John was doing, so what they did is they went out and they stole the Viper and then reverse engineered it and put it in all their cabs.
Whoops.
Arcade 1-Up has a new thing coming out. It's called the KVM Switch.
Oh my God.
They're going to call it the A1-Up VM. You can finally bring your own consoles to the Arcade 1-Up platform. We came up with this all on our own.
I can't wait for Rexer. He's gonna make a video. It's like, look at all those guys laughing at Glenn. What a horrible
I told you,
set
you
of
can't
people.
say anything negative about Glenn. They're
We
not
love
allowed.
Glenn.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love
Just
Glenn.
we got to be
love
clear.
Glenn.
Glenn's a lovable man. I've met
is
him
a lovable
several
man.
times in
Glenn,
person.
Glenn is the nicest
And
person in the world.
he is a lovable
You want to
man.
help him just because he is so nice. Like we
Yeah.
all do.
And
We
it
totally
does
get it.
suck that Arcade 1-Up screwed him over, but it is what it is at this point. And that we just kind of laugh because it would be incredibly horrible and incredibly bad if John D once again screwed him over by buying all his Viper boards under a pseudonym and putting him in his arcade force.
Let's try to bring peace in the community. What would be really amazing is John D had an incredible year with Unico,
Yeah.
where two people that got into a huge drama
Huge
issue
drama.
have
Big drama.
completely made up.
They
And
hated
what
each
we
other.
can hope for is by the end of 2024, we can get that same thing from Glenn and John D. We all know that Glenn
Well,
wants peace. We all know that John D wants peace. And if a simple conversation could be had, I think it could be achieved.
Yeah,
and
but
it would be
they want
amazing.
two different things. Like Glenn wants peace, John wants piece of ass. That's why he's going to the
It's
strip
really
clubs.
weird. Yeah,
I mean,
because
Glenn's a
like,
nice
no,
guy, right?
no, I don't roll that way, bro. What are you doing? I think we can. One thing we can absolutely do right now is to close the loop and shut down the conversation on
Look.
Iconic Arcade, which got an F from the community with 36%.
Oh my
Look at
gosh.
the box.
Y'all are
Oh,
just
so-
jealous. Wait till you see what I do with my Iconic Arcade control panel I bought for
Wait.
$50.
You
Now
will.
that control
blow-
panel came
you'll
with the
just-
pie
yeah,
inside
absolutely.
it, right?
Oh, it sure did. I got
Oh,
I
for
got a
50
pie
bucks?
4B
Is
for
it a
50
pie
bucks.
3?
Oh,
Or
that's
is it
a
pie
good
4?
deal.
4B.
You got a so basically Mike got a Pi 4B with a control panel for $50. Honestly, that's
That's
pretty
great.
fucking
It's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's a
No conspiracy. It was just a really good deal.
Yeah. Your control panel is basically a pie case.
Yeah, 100%.
That's great. That's a great price.
Oh, you guys should be drinking. It's so much more fun.
I am
need to get
drinking
some more. How many more
I'm
slides
drinking
we
a
got?
lot. I'm working on this bottle. We've only got.
We're only about 30%
two
in.
more. We've got about
I'll be
8
right
more
back.
hours left to go. So it's.
Justin's got to break the seal. He'll be right back.
Oh no! Come on, Just Stone. What are you doing?
It's so funny. It's so funny how people are so hooked on what other people do that if I buy, let's just say I buy a PlayStation controller and post a picture of it. Like, hey guys, check out this PlayStation controller I just bought. People would say, he's trying to be a PlayStation
Yes,
channel.
that's what they do.
He's secretly lurking with Sony. He
But-
must die.
You know why? Because these people have no life. They come in my chat and they're so trying to get some sort of burn on me or a dig on me, and I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't
Hey, don't
watch
talk about
your
Kevin
shit.
Clausen that way. He's been trying to
He's
cancel
different.
you for
He's
6 months.
he's good people.
I'm just-
Kevin's good people, but
I'm just
talking
waiting.
about
I'm just
other
waiting
people.
I'm waiting for the Vegas meetups again this year. Do you think you'll get the same thing? I don't have a problem with you, brother.
I absolutely know that
Yeah.
because he's
And
an
for the-
absolute
yeah.
puss and a
And for the-
coward. But we'll see. We'll see.
And for the record, I can't go to CES because the family's doing Disneyland the same week. So
Well,
That Justin
I
got you
can't go
tickets
out.
for.
that sucks.
Justin got a ticket, Mike, but there was no reason to bring that up publicly. It was a ticket.
A
'cause
ticket?
Well,
One ticket,
is
is it?
as awkward
I
as
got you
awkward
3
and out of
tickets. What are you talking
listen.
about?
Listen,
The link-
as awkward
the
and out of
link was
place as
only
this
for one.
conversation is,
There's
let's
three.
The
make
link
it
was
even
for
more,
one
There's
ticket
3
and an
links.
agreement
Talk
that
about
P-Dubs
Unico.
has to be
Well, you only
favorable
sent me
towards
one
Media
link.
One Up.
I will resend you 3 links. I've marked 3 tickets
Oh my
as 4
God.
P-dubs.
Here we go.
3
Well,
This is-
Mike,
this is
Well, Justin,
3
I'm
tickets.
going
What
to
are we
need to
doing?
disclose that when I walk around Disney.
Yes,
Ticket
yeah,
if
you're
you
gonna
make
have
a
to tell
video,
everyone.
I'll be
Like,
this
you
video
have
is
to make
sponsored
sure-
by Justin.
Okay, you remember Die Hard 3 when he had that sign, that sandwich sign? Put that on and say, yes, I got tickets from Console Kits. And
Also,
walk around with that.
More proof I don't work for Arcade 1-Up, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
good
So-
stuff.
Guys, Nova Blast, a company that has done nothing but just hit home runs.
Put out absolute
recently.
quality lately.
Oh my God. It's insane. So we've got a wide spectrum. I mean, just all over the place. So Nova Blast actually shipped and was sent to some customers as of right now. I
Where's
I think
yours,
some
Fox?
didn't get it.
You didn't buy one?
Didn't buy one. Didn't send me a review unit, and I got the real thing, so I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
don't-
they told him they were going to send one, and then Jay Mason totally forgot about it.
Did they lie? Maybe, perhaps. But that's a topic for another discussion. So
Well,
it shipped.
in full transparency, there were
Yeah.
several YouTubers who were going to get a Unico Nova Blast, but it was going to be a traveling review unit.
and it was
So
going to be the
kinda
bar top, I believe.
It was like what they did with the MVSX when that
Yes.
came out a few years ago. Everyone would get it. You'd have a week to film, and then you have to ship it to the next person, right? And I was on that list along with Fox, and I haven't heard from them since. But they were happy to
None of
send
us
me
got
the
it.
Unico Pocket, which I absolutely adored.
My review's coming soon. I'm going to do a teardown.
I heard a rumor that they actually did send out the traveling Unico Nova Blast bar top, and it only made it as far as Mad Little Pixel.
Mad Little Pixel strikes again.
But if you guys are looking for a great deal on one, check out Mad Little Pixel's shop where he sells all his review units.
He's got a great deal on the bar top only. The Nova Blast shipped. It took forever, and I know that's
Shipped to some
criticism. The criticism is totally justified. It took forever to get to the U.S., and then it shipped to some customers, not all. Some people got theirs, and the few people that actually received theirs, I don't know. I think the damage was pretty minimal as far as a couple people complained about some stuff. One was a bezel, which is a piece of Lexan, which is not bad. But the other complaint was the metal itself was dented. That's a totally different deal. That's a pain in the ass to try to get fixed. So they had to get replacement unit shipped out. But I was a big fan. I've always been a big fan of the candy cabs. Not everybody is a fan of the candy cabs. Guys, what do you think about this first sort of four-way, this iteration?
I love candy cabs. I love sit-down arcades. The older I get, the more I want to sit down and play arcade games versus doing the arcade splits, Mike.
Yep.
5 years ago, I mean, and it's only been 5 years ago. 5 years ago when we first started this hobby, I didn't mind standing in front of my AtGames or my arcade one-ups, right? But now it was like 5 years later. Now it's like, dude, I just want to sit down and play, just give me the arcade stick and the buttons. So that's why I got my Chulix out there. That's why I think this was a cool product. There's a huge audience out there for this kind of stuff. And, provided businesses like, I don't know, Dave and Buster's and arcades like that put in orders for these, you might see this sooner than you think sometime in 2025 at an arcade near you. You know what I mean?
If they can get them to them.
Now, Pete,
have
you considered selling your Chulix? I have the same Chulix as you do.
No,
selling and upgrading and getting this.
So what's great about the Chulix, Justin, is the fact that even though it came with a 720p monitor and a Pandora's box, is we can put in a better monitor and change out all the guts, the buttons, the sticks.
Sony guts.
And so, it's on my 2025 list of projects to finally get to is to gut mod my Chulix. And if I gut mod it, I'm good. Like I can keep it for years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping my Chulix for a long time yet. I don't know about you. I know you have the same one as me.
Yeah, I've been debating the same thing where, so I did do, like when I got it, I took it all apart and I cleaned the monitor because there's like glass and then there's the actual panel and it was a little dirty and dusty. And that made an improvement. And I've considered, it's a 32-inch, upgrading it. And I was really surprised when I got it, maybe eating crow on this, where it was like I had a multicade that's 32-inch playing 4x3 games, but you're sitting right in front of this 32-inch. And even though you're playing 4x3 with bezel, it's like Mario's almost too big, or Street Fighter Ryu is too, it's what I'm saying is the screen is so large and you're so close to it. It's great. It's almost like a Megacade.
It could be why I needed to go order new glasses a couple of weeks ago, Justin. I mean, I think home arcade really destroyed my eyes in 2023 because my prescription got worse. My new glasses will hopefully be ready sometime this week.
Oh my God, that sucks.
Yeah. I got to work on my Chulix a little bit. It's so I got a Pi. I think I got a Pi 4 in it.
Nice.
And a pretty decent image. And I got the audio, it's in mono right now. So I got to set it up where it's stereo. I got a different amp for it. And, threw away the Pandora's box right away, of course.
All that's great and fine and good. But let's talk about what really is going on. And
Fox,
that's
it's only been 2.5 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Guys, the Unico Pocket. This is where it's at.
Does it fit in your pocket?
I was a little harsh in my review.
It's in some pockets, but I think Pete.
I think you were fair.
They've had some. He's had some experience with this incredible unit. Patrick, let us know. What do you think?
The best part of my day was knowing that the pocket that actually has the SNK colored buttons, Unico and Jay Mason sent that to me, P-Dubs. The really horrible black one they sent to Fox and Cool Toy. They're like, if we're gonna send the premium looking one out, it's got to go to P-Dubs. And I was
this is the benefit of
that.
being in direct contact with Unico. You get the shit.
This will make you feel good, P-Dubs. He reached out to me as well around the same time. He said, "Would you review the Unico Pocket?" I said, "Absolutely," and then he never sent me one. It's pretty good.
But
Mike, what's your story, buddy?
He actually, after we did that stream and he was in the chat, he actually reached out to me by email and he said, "Hey, do you want to review one?" And I said, "No." I said, thanks anyways. I think sending it to the people you did is enough in the home arcade coverage, and Nostalgia would be a good person to put it out. I did that for two reasons. One, obviously, I'm not interested in this product. Number two is, I really do feel that, like, with P-Dubs and UFox, Cool Toy, they get enough coverage from the home arcade community. I'm not going to have anything to offer on this. In fact, I'm going to hurt the company much worse if they send it to me.
Mike, you should think about that before you make your next My Arcade video.
Yeah, really give us.
I'm not trying to help My Arcade. I didn't say that.
But so I got it. Here's one thing: is I was really hard on it in my review, but if you are a huge SNK fan and you just want to have a curated collection of 40 games, that way you don't have to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of games like you do on your Ambernick devices, maybe this is the product for you. But for me, it wasn't great, and I'm hoping if they release new stuff next year, it's better than the Unico Pocket. Is what
boy, do I have news for you, P-Dubs. They got some bangers coming
it's
up.
Only getting worse.
Did they?
Oh
announce,
my God!
did
Have
they
you
announce
No,
seen
it's only
this?
getting worse.
I think he missed it. He was busy spending time with his family.
Or doing
No,
stand-uppers in the garage.
Mhm.
Neo Severe.
Mike,
just had some
unlike you,
great
I
news.
spent holiday break with the family while you were on YouTube making videos about everything that happened.
That's right.
Oh, that's the next video coming up. Mike B hates his family.
Yes, we can only
gonna
hope
be
for
great.
that one.
B hates his
He's a horrible husband.
He
must
die.
That's not over the line at all.
All right. What else did they announce, Fox? Do you have a slide for that?
Oh, that's pretty much it, guys. This is pretty much it as far as what delivered this year. But Mike, tell us about what they announced just recently.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's officially announced. The only place I saw it was through Neo Severa, and obviously they do some stuff with Neo Severa. He's a really nice guy. They sent this
Does he
information
work
over
there?
to him. I don't
What'd you say,
know.
P-Dubs?
Does he work there, Neo?
Is he Jay Mason? No one really knows.
I asked him and he said no.
There was a time, right? He was on Unacceptable Fringe. No, wait, that's Unacceptable Fringe is in the chat. I'm thinking of the other
Unacceptable
guy.
Cringe?
No,
No.
not that one.
Wait,
We're getting there.
hold on. What's his name?
Irreversible Carnage? No, that's not it. It's two words though.
I can't remember. remember.
I only know like seven
unqualified
people.
critics. There
Yes.
it is.
There you go. That's
Boom.
the guy.
So there was this period of time where Unqualified Critics did a Jay Mason Neo Severa interview, and I think in that video he claimed to be an employee.
Yes, but then when I confronted him, he said he's not
Right.
paid by Unico.
And then he was on a channel where he was being interviewed, and it was like, "Do you work for Unico?" And he goes, "No, they've never paid me." So it was kind of like
So
this
that's-
bitterness. Like,
That's realistic.
I think
That's what
that's
I'm
what's
thinking.
probably what happened. Yeah,
I
they
think
gave
he
him
was-
a cab. Yeah.
yeah, I think they were like, "We really like you. You make all these tweets. You really give us a lot of feedback. Would you love to work for us?" He's like, "I'd love to work for you." And then they're just not a business that's able to accommodate him as an employee.
As far as like income,
Right.
they're not going to actually pay you.
I think
We'd
Neo
love-
Severa is a super fan.
We'd love for you to do the work. We're just not real big on
Yeah.
paying you. Yeah, gotcha.
Let's all assume he gets hooked up from time to time.
So, anyways, I shared something. Fox, bring it up on screen so P-Dubs can see it.
Absolutely. This is the greatest thing.
This
Ever
is the
created.
next huge hit from
Here you go.
Unico.
Whoa,
Patrick.
let's hear
Well,
P-Dub's reaction.
I haven't
Strap
seen
yourself
this
in,
yet.
buddy.
What is this?
Absorb.
Oh my god.
This is Unico's next handheld.
Surprise.
Knights of Valor?
Yeah, it's from IGS.
That's not SNK. That's
No.
IGS.
It's another company. I think Fox, you talked about some of these unreleased Neo Geo games and
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that.
Hey Fox,
games
read what Unico Neo Severa said.
What the thing is, they were unreleased for a reason. They should have never been released.
Oh wait! I think I
I,
saw him tweet this. I think I liked his
yes,
tweet. or
this is a
something.
treat. This is a tweet by
Oh
Neo
yeah.
Severa. Yeah.
Yeah. This is crap. Move on.
Oh yes, absolutely. So what we got here
I'm just kidding.
is
I'm
a,
kidding.
no. You were not kidding because
It's all
this is
Mike's
absolute
fault.
shit.
Can I add my own games to it? Wait, what?
But at least this one has stickers. There's
Is this the
proper
game box
branding.
that they've been talking about? Is this that game
Finally.
box?
Finally we found it. Here it is.
It's
the
not home arcade. It's arcade home.
So what happened was there was all these people before, like everybody just gave up on cable, used to buy these illegal streaming boxes, but there's just a big repository of ones no one uses anymore. So
Those are the good
Unico
old
bought
days.
them all.
It turns out they can play games too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that they say it's powered by IGS because I agree it's gonna suck.
Oh yeah.
I just feel so bad because like obviously both these products are very reminiscent of like very cheap AliExpress type items and stuff like that you would see on like Temu and stuff. Yeah, it makes the company look bad. Like I'll go back to the Unico. My biggest problem with the Unico Pocket, like if you look at this, I don't know if you took my slide down. I wanted to show on the Unico Pocket. I mean, you look at this; it's got 2 thumbsticks. What do you need the 2 thumbsticks for?
Yeah.
You don't.
That's a dead giveaway that this was never a product that was developed for these games or for Unico. It's just a cheap product they picked up in quantity that they could license out.
Yeah, but would you be saying the same thing if this was from Glenn?
Look,
We're not allowed to.
You'd be like, I love it. It's so great.
Love it a lot.
I think the Nova Blast is super, super cool.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
this handheld stuff, I don't know if it's just quick cash grabs or why they're doing it.
Unacceptable fringe with the comment of the year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
It's a Soldier Boy console.
But they just need to go
Bravo,
back to make arcade machines. Give us. I love Fox has been screaming for a new like MVSX with a 26-inch screen.
Yes.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool. That would be way better than this handheld stuff.
I'm going to say this one more time because I want to make sure. I don't think P-Dubs was here when I said this. So I'm blaming a little bit of Fox and a little bit of Michael B on that tweet because they literally said if you put some branding on it,
that's not exactly
it could be even cheaper. Like make it red.
Okay.
They basically described that product.
That's not exactly what I said.
This is not.
I know that's the interpretation Jay Mason got and said, "Hey, China, you got some crap? Yeah, that thing.
Crap in red. Crap
oh my
in
god.
red.
We wanted to defend yourself, Fox.
Son of a bitch. This is not the totality of what I said. This is like, listen, Jay, Unico. This is just garbage. This is just generic handheld number 897. Okay. If you want to make this something that people want to buy, it has to be red. It has to have the white. It has to have the 4-button layout. Okay, the proper 4-button layout for Neo Geo games. No, we don't need a second analog stick for God's sakes, let alone a first one. Okay, you don't need those at all. I mean,
was all in
that
my
was
well,
review.
unless it's
This was all
clicky,
in
that
my
would be
review.
sweet, right?
but they won't do that. So give me a rock solid D-pad. Don't give me L1, L2 for God's sakes. R2 and L2 that don't do anything. That was my criticism. I said, hey, this is a great first start, but let's change like everything. And they said, hey, how about we don't do any of the changes you mentioned and just ship it? And I said, well, good luck. That's what I said.
That's fair.
We're subject. I'm sorry.
And then Jay Mason said,
Fox,
I
you
gave
sound like
all
a
your feedback to
very
SNK,
bitter Unico
and they
employee.
said,
You know what, Patrick? I think I am very bitter. Yeah.
You
I
are a
think so.
very bitter Unico employee.
This is why I drink. I think that's why. This is probably why I drink.
That's right,
You really need
Unico.
to
You're the
settle down.
reason Fox drinks.
Well, they're one of the reasons. Also the trauma, but then there's Unico.
I feel like I just got here, but it says you guys have been going for 2 hours and 40
That
minutes.
number doesn't matter. It's just a thing. It doesn't
Time
matter.
is just
we're
a
trying
number.
to like,
Time is a
what's it
construct.
called? Trick the algorithm.
Absolutely.
You got to do
And,
it every 3 months. You got to do a super long stream to trick the algorithm.
just to
This
mess
is
with
that
them.
trick.
And because we have been so hard on Unico, they missed getting an A, but still pulled out a B with 34%.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. So I think that above all, it is awesome to see products like the Nova Blast, the 26-inch arcade replacement monitor that is reasonably priced.
They
You know,
deserve
it's
a lot
not
of credit for both those. Yeah.
100%. And that's why it's so confusing to see these arcade specific solutions to big problems and then have stuff like this come out. And then worse, to have like Mike Slide was showing off that if you think this is bad, that is horrible. And I don't understand why any company would waste their energy or resources on stuff like this that's just going to get lost in the shuffle.
I would forget the lost in the shuffle thing, but all these companies have reputations. And if you expect to get $340 for your 26-inch monitor,
hit.
$1,400 for your Nova Blast,
Yes.
you can't be selling this shit because it affects your credibility. It affects your reputation.
It cheapens the brand. I mean, it really 100%. Does. I mean, you have this perception with Nova Blast, with arcade replacement monitors, and this thought of, okay, this is a company associated with quality, right? Metal cabinets, not just wooden, recreation.
I would have went with a good sturdy plastic.
A good sturdy plastic is a starter, okay, but metal, that's the next level, okay. That's how you elevate, right? That's Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. That's what we're doing right here, buddy.
I hope the last slide is a VR slide because we're all VR channels now.
We're all VR channels now. Brooklyn Menace is part of the new Illuminati, the VR Illuminati.
It's the way to go. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I'm getting the next poll question ready, but I think you all know who the last company is.
Who is it?
Come on.
Arcade Done.
We haven't done Arcade One Up yet. He's like milking this episode.
I was taking a nap. I woke up and you guys were on.
We don't 2 hours and 40 minutes before he gets to the main.
A midday nap is now called what, P-Dubs?
What?
A midday nap is now called a dub. I was taking a dub.
Oh, yeah. I was taking a dub. All right. Can we just give them an F and move on quickly?
Well, perhaps. Here we go.
Okay,
so I've started the poll question. Here it is, guys. Arcade 1-Up. Some would say the segment leader. And now look what they've been reduced to.
What a fall from grace.
Oh my God.
Like the story of Arcade 1-Up would be a great documentary.
Someone actually made a video that's getting some pretty good traction on YouTube. The fall of Arcade 1-Up needs to be studied, or something. The downfall of Arcade 1-Up.
I saw that. Yeah.
Needs to be studied. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good video.
It's just this is an F. I mean, they released some remakes, some rehashes, and a claw machine, and then what have you done for me lately?
And if they didn't get rid of John D, all those cabs would have interchangeable marquees that you'd pay $30 more for.
All right, so
everyone
seems to be giving Arcade 1-Up an F. I can play the devil's advocate, and then I'd like to hear you guys rebut this.
I don't know. This is tough.
I haven't bought
for those in the chat
that
don't understand. Sorry, for those in the chat that don't understand how this debate works. I am playing a role right now. Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Start clipping him now so we can clip him out of context and go.
Okay. Go. In the last year, Arcade 1-Up has gone from 3 million to 4 million sales. According to James Hates Everything, the totality of income that Arcade 1-Up has made is up to $750 million in the first 4 years since 2018. In the last year, it's possible they made another 250,000. That brings Arcade 1-Up potentially to $1 billion in sales since they first came out. Now, if you need more evidence that Arcade 1-Up is failing, let's talk about the fact that there's several other companies that are mooching off the demographic that they created, including the several companies that have been these several employees that have been exited from the company. David McIntosh still in the industry. John D making products in the industry. Why? Because they know that the money is there, right? So you tell me why Arcade 1-Up making close to $1 billion, 4 million in sales means they're dead. Again, playing devil's advocate, go.
I don't think they're dead. I don't think they're anywhere near dead. I'm just not as interested in them anymore.
I think that's a proper argument because it means if this community is not interested in the products that they came out in the last year, yet they still moved about 1 million products, they're selling to somebody else.
Yeah,
but
like
the products that moved were piles and piles and piles of inventory that were just sitting there. We're not talking 1 million brand new machines that came out. We're talking piles of shit that these
Hold-
warehouses and
hold
companies
on. Their
had to
claim
get
of
rid of.
4 million, they make that milestone of 4 million when they sell to retailers, not when the warehouses get liquidated.
Look,
So they sold more this year to retailers that have stock still, or
our Arcade One
Yes.
Up reminds me of Arcade One Up is the Girls Gone Wild of home arcade, right? Like it was so hot at first, and then Scott Bacharach is in hiding in Mexico, and it all just it's all kind of went downhill. It's like you don't even know what happened. You're on top of the world, and then all of a sudden it's over. Like what
Damn.
happened? What happened?
Well, Art
there you go.
brings up a good point here. Art bought T2, MK2, Miss Pac-Man, Big Blue, Star Wars this year, new in box from the Brick and Best Buy. Those are cabs at least 2 years old.
Yeah. Well, Art, I did the same thing. I rebought T2 for 500, MK2 for 500. Didn't get Miss Pac-Man, and I wish I got Star Wars before it was too late, but now they're completely
Yeah.
sold out. So, yeah, I don't blame you. Like, I love the concept of Arcade 1-Up. I love the concept of the recreation arcades. It's just they haven't made any in a while that I'm interested in, and they're not getting to the place where I can buy them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're gonna die in 2025?
Oh no, I think this company will keep eking on, making even thinner versions of NBA Jam and Pac-Man every year.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
I wouldn't discredit people saying that the company isn't in trouble, because it's fucking clear they are in trouble. They took out a loan against their accounts receivable this past year, which is one of the most dangerous kinds of loans you got. They've stripped the company down to bare bones and trying to operate on like bare minimum operations. They're trying to do all kinds of cost cutting measures with the cabs that actually affects the quality of the cabs, aka look at the last Countercade, where they only save probably like $2 per screen by going with a 16:9 screen. So it's impossible not to say that the company isn't financially stable.
Yeah, but to be fair, couldn't they just be like, okay, we made some mistakes. We made some bad mistakes. We got some warehouses that are filled with junk that people are not moving. But you know what does move is a slim version of NBA Jam, some more Pac-Mans, and I'm not being sarcastic here. Like that moves. So they're like, we need a loan. We're going to make what sells. We're going to sell that. We're going to pay off our loan, and we're good. And from going forward, we're no longer going to make things like Star Wars, Tron. We're not going to make what's another one that's like Tron that was really good?
Dragon Slayer.
Dragon's Lair. There you go. We're going to
Ridge
make
Racer.
what is their top 3 that they're making?
Yeah.
Pac-Man.
Miss
Mortal
Pac-Man
Kombat.
and Class of 81.
NBA Jam. Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that. And they'll probably survive doing that because, and I don't know all the details, but again, the big awakening that I had this year, the best information that I received in 2024 was when James Hates Everything read through the lawsuit between Jerry Cummings from Think Up and Tastemakers, where they said they received 3% of all the sales that Arcade 1-Up would give to retailers, all the sales to retailers, right? Or direct to computer. So we're not talking about the $6.99 price. We're talking about the $2.99 price, like the wholesale price. And there, if you do the math, it's like 500 million to 750 million in business. And we all know most of Arcade 1-Up's money went into Google marketing. That's what David McIntosh did. And into YouTube, which is why the 4 of us are sitting here anyway, because they advertised the crap out of anything that had the Arcade 1-Up logo in it, including Rexer's channel. So the reason why we have a lot of subscribers and viewers and audience is because Arcade 1-Up was buying us subs for the last 5 years. That's a fact.
true.
That's 100% a fact.
They were
And-
buying Fox subs in India.
That's right. Fox subs in India.
Yeah,
And
so,
we're all here together because of a huge scam
That's not
that Scott Bacharach came up with. No,
That's
it is true.
not
Go
true.
do research on it. Ask John D. He'll 100% tell you.
Yeah, but John D
that they
says
spent
so many things that are
millions of
fucking
dollars
unreliable.
on Google
So
John
marketing
D is
to create this community.
John D's like, we can't do pole position because of the brand.
And then My Arcade does it.
And
It's
then
true.
John D comes out and was like, actually, we could have done pole position.
How much
I just
money have
didn't
you
wanna
made
do
in
it
YouTube
because
sales?
it's not a game I
How
like.
much money have you made in YouTube? And has it gone down since Arcade 1-Up stopped when they let go of David McIntosh? The moment David McIntosh left, they stopped spending money on Google, and the ad revenue money went down.
Well, my ad revenue
the views
has
went
been
down.
the same. It's
What?
been
No, Fox. They never paid for your subs anyway.
well, they never paid for me. Sure, yeah. 'Cause
P-Dubs is getting an awakening, and he does not like it.
I was always lower tier anyway. That's fine.
There's only one
It's true.
person that
100%.
created P-Dubs, and that was P-Dubs. Sorry.
Go look at all your big videos from Arcade 1-Up and see how many of them came from Google.
My biggest video was a
Go look it up.
lightsaber review.
None of them
so
did.
I know I'm good.
Everything that you have that's over 100,000 views, Google.
I only have a
You know why?
couple
David
over
McIntosh bought those views.
David
No,
McIntosh
he
traveled back in time,
He
saw
did.
my top 10 console videos, and then paid for subs on those. That is
I didn't say. I said P-Dubs. I didn't say you, Michael B.
Not me.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, a couple fallacies in that. Like, you assume that I'm here because of Arcade 1-Up. No. I'm here because I really don't have anything else to do. And
You said you loved me. You
I'm
bastard.
telling you, man.
I just have nothing else to do.
I have nothing else to do. I think it's crazy that they've devolved into this. And what's
Come here.
not listed is the price
come
of
on
the.
screen, you sexy thing.
Come on, you beautiful woman.
Come on, mama.
Come on.
Come on, baby. Stop my fire.
She's going to start your fire.
All right. Love you.
I think P-Dubs right now is looking at his. He's making a
No,
folder
I'm just
called
trying to-
Arcade 1-Up, and
I'm
he's
trying-
like, "Here's
No,
all." the
I'm
negative
trying to
ones.
find.
It's
some
true.
of
My
these-
Star
these
Wars video has
videos-
over
these
100,000
videos were
views.
posted like 5
Highest
years
views
ago.
comes from Google.
My highest views
No.
came from videos. I did a freaking knife interview, or knife unboxing that has more views. I did a
This
lightsaber
is an argument fallacy.
unboxing.
You're sitting here, Fox, talking about content that has nothing to do with home arcade, and
And
trying
yet,
to.
it's my highest viewed videos.
I'm talking about views from Arcade 1-Up, so obviously you can't like use an example that's outside of that
But
space
it's
as an
valid.
example. I'm not trying to attack your individual channels.
No, I understand.
I'm not trying
that.
to attack your integrity, 19K Fox.
Sure,
I'm
I
talking
understand
about
that.
why there's so many people interested in this product is because Arcade 1-Up marketed the crap out of this on Google and Facebook so that we would all come together.
So what you're saying is now they're putting all that money into Instagram and Sex in the City.
Yeah, because they're
Sex in
done
the
with
City.
us.
and TikTok.
I am
I
fucking.
think that it's funny that they've devolved in this slide to these categories. Deluxe was just one of their many product lines. They had XL, they had the Peasant Cades, they had all kind of stuff. You've got the deluxes that are $4.99. You've got the Infinity Game Board that is as low as $4.99, but you know the maxed out version is still $1,000. For God's sakes, the non-Polaroid version of the photo booth is $3.99.
That's a credit to Cyrus's licensing skill. He couldn't
Of
even
course.
keep the Polaroid brand name.
Did you know that he's a who's who? I don't know if you knew that.
Just
And
that's another cost cutting measure. The Polaroid namesake was
Yeah.
branding itself, so they just cut that out.
Who did they switch to again?
No. It's just
It's a nondescript.
it's basically they went with the great value Polaroid.
yes. The Walmart version of instant photo.
Yeah, so like a Polaroid picture is a specific non-generic brand that's no longer
it's a format basically. It's
Yeah,
a
so
format.
what
Yeah.
it's the same way that like if you take a acetaminophen, I can't even say it now. You take
Acetaminophen? Yeah.
acetaminophen, everybody calls it an aspirin, but it's not really aspirin, it's acetaminophen.
Got it. Like Kleenex, but tissue.
Exactly.
I got P-Dubs hooked 100%.
I'm trying.
He's
But
doing
P-Dubs-
the research
P-Dubs
right
is
now.
sitting there
He's
just
like,
oh, my life is a lie.
I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to spring this on you, but about a year ago when I stopped making content, it was 100% because of this discovery that I created. And I'm sorry to turn down the community with what I dug into, but then I called John D, and he 100% confirmed it was accurate.
You cannot trust anything John D says. I am sorry. You can't.
Ever.
Well, I
Ever.
appreciate you guys. Then maybe I took a break for no reason because I was like,
I
wow,
thought you took a break because you got bullied.
No, there's about 10 reasons why I took a break, and one of them was that. But one of the larger reasons was I felt like someone took advantage of me for like 5 years. How would you feel if you were making content about something that you had passion and joy for, and you were like, "Wow, I'm growing. The channel is growing. It's really, really great." And I don't buy subs and I don't buy views. I have all this integrity of things that I will and won't do. And I have all these policies that some people it doesn't make sense to, but to me, it does make sense because I do have consistency in my policy. And then come find out the company Arcade 1UP is buying subs for us, buying views for us in form of promotions on Google. And I'm like, when I go do the research of all the channels and videos that I did, that I gained the most amount of subscribers, there are ones that came from Google.
So the countercade really took a shit this year.
Man, that 16:9 screen, that is the to me that is the biggest,
absolute garbage.
Yeah,
yes,
the fact that they would try to stoop that low to stop using 4x3 or even 5x4 monitors to put 16:9 in there.
No lit marquees.
Yeah, no lit marquees. I mean, that thing is a piece of shit. And I if you bought one and you're happy with it, that's fine. But the play area on that is so small.
Has anyone done a review on that?
No, someone bought it, and then I commented on their post, and then they said, "I'm returning it."
Yeah, I was hoping that they would make a video that showed the screen because I hear what you're saying, but I still haven't seen the actual screen.
But it's so fucking stupid. Go back and show that picture again. Here's my fucking problem with it. This is how stupid Arcade 1UP are, and I don't know if this costs a ton of money or not, but they have a 16:9 screen in that. What they could have easily done is hidden most of the 16:9 screen behind the bezel and left those areas black. But these rocket scientists, instead of doing that, then reprogrammed the game to move it up and then made a changeable bottom marquee that nobody wants, spent the money to do that instead of just hiding the parts of the screen that weren't in use.
Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very sad. You know what else is very sad? The poll question, which I'm going to go ahead and kill now. 77 votes. And I don't know if you're going to believe this. Maybe you're not. I don't know. With a grade of F, 57% say, you know what, Arcade 1UP, you get an F, buddy. So let's look at the top four. I'm going to look at the top four and the bottom four. Where are we at? So we got an A for Stern. We got an A for Glenn's GRS. We got an A for Evercade. So that's good. Let's go ahead and put those in there real quick. We're going to let everybody tonight, right now, you're going to vote for the best and the worst. So the best of the best and the worst of the worst. Here we go. Let's start with the worst of the worst because that's the most fun. We'll take the Fs. We'll take the Ds. No Cs because,
but just to be really clear with Justin's theory, my revenue hasn't changed at all because I exist outside the home arcade bubble.
Of course you do. No one's questioning that at all. The Game Genie.
Mike's like, I'm spending even more money on YouTube and meetings in dark alleyways.
Michael B has an idea for 2025. He was like, so all this promotion stuff, I have 31,000 subscribers. No one's going to ever notice that I have, that if I buy subs. I should be clear. I do want to be clear. There's a difference between buying subs and promoting your channel. And there's been some people that are clarifying that. And there's some people that are actually saying, I don't buy subs. I do promotions. Promotions are normal and legit, right? No, you don't do promotions. You straight up buy subs is what you do. And there's a distinction. And one should be fine and one should be shamed is what it should be, because one is just for vanity. You just want a number higher.
I think as long as you make a
just
video
for the sake of a higher
what you
number,
did, you're good to go.
It.
That's my unbiased opinion.
I don't really care what anybody else does.
Yeah, you always don't care. That's why we don't care about your opinion, because you don't give a real opinion. Right. So anyway, Mike, here's what I'm thinking. You're going to take all the money that you get from YouTube for 2025 and just put it right back into your channel, and you're going to tell everyone, I put it back in my channel.
Guys, the poll question right now for the audience, I've got the bottom four. The bottom four of the 10 companies is up right now. Vote. Guys, what do you think? So in the bottom four, not the top four, but the bottom four, we have Unico, My Arcade, Iconic Arcade and Arcade One Up.
This is a really hard poll.
It's tough.
I voted for
It's
My
tough.
Arcade.
Who's the worst? Vote. Let me know.
So
I can't vote.
I voted for Iconic.
Think about
My
it.
Arcade.
Take your time. Who's the worst, guys? I mean, come on. Is it Arcade One Up because they had so far to fall because they were so high? Is it a company like Unico who didn't really have much going on? They kind of had a few successes. I mean, what do you think? Really, honestly.
I voted for, to be honest, I voted for Arcade One Up because what a fall from grace. You had a company that used to have good community engagement between Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms, and to go into this radio silence and ownership transfers and staff changeover, and to go from releasing a dozen minimum new SKUs a year and titles to 0, and is a huge downfall. Like,
Massive.
I have not bought an Arcade One Up product in the last 18 months. Does that mean I'm suddenly some Arcade One Up hater? No, what it means is they haven't released anything that I want to buy. Now, let's just say in 2025, by some miracle, they're like, hey, here's a brand new title in a 3/4 scale form factor that we haven't seen yet. I would probably end up buying it if it looks cool and if it's priced well, right? And I think a lot of you out there would do the same. But I'm not going to go around and just keep rebuying the same shit over and over again.
100%.
Because I've done that already.
Yeah.
So,
I think we know Arcade One Up well enough. You know how, like, if someone comes out with a bad product, like it's a bad product, you lose trust in them. So you're like, another product comes out, you're like, I don't want to buy it. But we know Arcade One Up enough that they do a really bad job at disguising their bad product. Does that make sense? So they could come out with a picture and they're like, we're going to show off this cab. You're like, that has a crappy monitor. It totally doesn't have the BOE in it. Oh, that's got a 16 by 9 monitor vertical on it. Like, you cheapened. And so if they come out with a product and it passes the smell test, we're like, okay, that's a good title. The monitor looks good. The design looks great. It's not slim. I'm going to buy it. Yeah. I'm going to give it a chance. So it's weird because I'm torn on this. Arcade One Up is the worst that you're talking about, P-Dubs, because I agree that they had the worst year, but they could turn it around so quickly, and I would buy the next product. Whereas the Iconic Arcade, I've never bought an Iconic Arcade, and I have zero plans of buying an Iconic Arcade.
You say that's
a good point. That's a good point.
$50 for a Pi 4B and a control panel.
Shouldn't that be the lowest?
It's a good point.
That's
It's a good point.
Shouldn't that be the lowest?
Justin has been picking on Mike, and now he's picking on me. Justin, just so you know, on your next video, I am going to leave a pity comment to help you in the algorithm, like you did me today.
No, it's not pity. It's sympathy.
Yeah, the sympathy. It was so funny. One of my videos today, Justin commented, he goes, this is your sympathy comment. And I thought it was fucking hilarious. I think I was literally taking a shit and giggling on the toilet when I read your comment.
It was because on Mike's show the night before, we talked about sympathy.
Arcade One Up can turn it around. Look at AtGames for 9 months. Whether you guys were happy with your 4K machines or not, there were so many people, hundreds of people, hundreds of owners who were pissed off because, think about it, the number one reason people buy the 4K machines is for the Zen library. They're not buying these games because they can't wait for the next fucking Dr. Seuss game to come out. They're buying these games for the Zen library, and the Zen library was unplayable. And they turned it around. It only took them 3 months to go from an F to a B. And Arcade One Up, they could release some new products next year, and they could turn this whole shit around. They really could. So yes, it's absolutely possible, Justin. I agree with you. But this year is an F from P-Dubs for Arcade One Up.
I think that's the difference. Like, it's one thing to have a company who doesn't know how to succeed. It's another thing to have a company succeed, know the formula, they know what to do, and then just shit the bed and just fall apart and just reject everything and just go for what they think that is going to make them the most money. I think there's a different metric. Other companies out there are trying to get that success. And I think that's where Arcade 1-Up maybe has a negative advantage. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they've been there, they've been to the mountaintop, and they've just stalled. And I think that works.
So,
and it's not in their favor. Yeah.
So a man I don't have much respect for once said, if you're not
That's
growing, you're dying as a company. That was Nostalgia. And usually I
it was
don't
me.
agree with Nostalgia,
Oh.
but I think I would agree with it here. Arcade 1-Up is taking a losing stance on the way they're handling this. They had a downsizing issue where there's not as much demand for what they were selling a couple of years ago. And instead of, re-emerging and innovating and coming up with new ways to be successful again, they've already taken the L, and now they're trying to cut their company down into parts to still make it profitable. There's no possible way that they can come back with that mentality. Now, I could be wrong. P-Dubs is right. Like, all it would take is for, Arcade 1-Up to show up at CES and be like, yeah, we're doing a Defender cab. That's the Catalina wine mixer with the right controls, that game's list.
100%.
We're going to do this, and we're all back in. But I'm going to tell you right now, I lost complete faith last year, and I know people tried to pass it off and say, well, it's just one cab. I kept my hopes up, even though they weren't bringing products here. I kept my hopes up, even though nothing was coming out. The stuff they were releasing, I didn't like. The point where I lost all hope was when I saw that 2-player NBA Jam, and I saw the new slim design. And I was just like, yeah, no, I don't have any confidence that they'll realize this was a mistake and rectify this. I think all the cabs are going to have a similar form factor going forward because they're trying to save money, and they took really bad feedback. And then you see the counter cave with the 16:9 screen, and I was like, yeah, this is going downhill. So I'm going to hold my breath. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but the trajectory I've seen from their products that they released in the latter part of last year gives me no hope for following them as an arcade recreation company going forward.
Mike, I never thought that Arcade 1-Up would live and die on NBA Jam of all games, but to see them come out almost to no fanfare with the deluxe version of the 4-player cabinet and have, in my opinion, to be a better design with the the control panel, all that, the better midway shape. I was so hopeful that we could see Turtles and X-Men and Simpsons come back in that new form factor. To see that, and then just almost immediately to see the Slim Katie come out. And I was so baffled. I have no idea why that happened, how it happened. You can't tell me that made sense financially. You just came out with the 4-player version. You redesigned everything. There's been no other cabinet that's mimicked that design. There's been no there's been no NFL Blitz Deluxe, no Turtles, no X-Men, no Simpsons, nothing. No other game has had that form factor. NBA Jam is the only one that's had that form factor. And to just immediately just reset and have the Slim Katie blows me away. I don't understand the calculus there. I can't see how that financially makes any sense. You just spent all the money in development costs to do this. And to not have all your other 4-player cabs fall in line with that makes no sense to me. I just don't understand the decision making, and maybe that's a lacking on my part. I don't get it. I just don't. That to me, more than Fast and Furious, just confuses me to no end.
What if they would have done HS5?
Douglas Schneider, who are you really, and are you an Arcade 1-Up employee?
Oh,
blink twice for yes.
Yeah, so what I was saying, go ahead. He says, that's BS, Mike. What's the biggest problem we have? It's space. NBA Jam was their attempt at a solution to that. It's not for you, arcade recreation nuts. Then it's not for you.
Yeah, so the 2-player aspect would have helped you fit more in your arcade. The slimness of it doesn't do jack shit for you, man. So your comment has no validity at all. I'm sorry.
So what I was going to say was,
just to continue with your point.
Yeah. What if instead of Slim Katie, they did NBA Jam HS5? Like, you're like, whoa, HS5 as an NBA Jam? But would it have been better? to just be like, to save money, we're just going to take the HS5
But
and come out with like a TMNT and an X-Men and an NBA Jam in that form factor.
before we go any further, I want to pause for a second, and I want to recognize one of the great community members, Ezekiel. Happy birthday! I'm glad you're out celebrating, buddy. We had a great show. A lot of complaints, a lot of praises, a lot of good times. Thank you so much for always supporting all of our channels, buddy. And Patrick, is it a shame? Is it a damn shame that we have Michael B attacking the community? Patrick, your thoughts on the ferocious attacks by Michael B?
Look, like I said, man, we average one community scandal a year. It would be really nice if we could increase that to 3.
Oh, this would not be the first time I've been
Wait, one scandal?
Yeah.
Well,
if you think about it, on average per year,
You
it's
just
one
can
big
only
scandal.
remember the last scandal is what it is.
Yeah. But
So, Douglas, at the same point,
cancel Michael B. He's out of control.
100%. He's out of control. The
yeah.
guy's
So
crazy.
maybe very, very quickly, Doug. One thing I will agree with you on, I do think that Arcade 1-Up isn't looking at me, the arcade recreation nut, or like a lot of people in the core audience that would probably agree with me. I think they're looking at it this way, and I don't think that Arcade 1-Up gives a good goddamn fuck about any of us. I think they're trying to figure out how to sell to the masses. That's always been their strategy. So they're looking at it and they're like, what's one of the reasons why people don't buy our cabs? And then what they do is they come up with this idea that
Is
maybe
the product
cabs,
person a woman? Or
I don't know.
trying
So
to figure it out.
So I
thought-
think what
I
they
love
came
it.
up with was the fact that these take up room, they take up size, and maybe one person thought we need to make these slimmer so they're less of an obstacle in your home so you can fit them in. Not necessarily for arcade collectors so much as for the general masses.
I agree with that. I think Arcade 1-Up, they took a look at their numbers. They took a look at the fact that they
Okay,
gotta
just really
get a
quickly,
loan.
I am going to attack another viewer. Rainwater,
one?
who gives a fuck about the Atlanta Falcons? Like, really?
The Atlanta
I
Falcons
know
are wonderful.
no
They're a
Atlanta
great
Falcons
team.
fans.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, so I think Arcade 1-Up, yeah, they're just trying to survive, and they're doing what they know can get their sales. Their retailers are saying give them something that
Okay.
moves.
But before we go on, guys, do you want to know who gets the win? Who gets the nod? Who wins the worst? Who is the worst? Now this. I took the 4 lowest scores, put them in the poll.
Yeah.
I had the chat vote. 84 votes, one of the more enthusiastic votes of the night.
They just get more and more.
Who wins? Who do you think? With 39%.
We can see the results.
Who I know. Shh. Pretend like you don't know. Who do
Holy
you think
crap,
wins?
out of nowhere, Iconic Arcade was voted best arcade product.
No, it's with a close second by Iconic Arcade at 37%, but Arcade 1-Up at 38% takes the cake. We're the worst in home arcade this year.
I want
I
one
think-
more
I
poll.
think-
One more
I think
poll, Fox.
Just really quickly,
We're going to do at
Justin,
least one more, maybe 2.
really quickly. I think
look
you
in the
could
private chat.
you could
I
do
saw
an
it.
asterisk. You could do an asterisk by that poll because I think really the only reason Arcade 1-Up beat out Iconic Arcade, you could do an asterisk there because if you ask the question, which company alienated their hardcore fan base the most this past year,
Well,
and
yeah, I
that's
agree.
why
I
they get
agree.
those votes. It's not necessarily they had a terrible year. It's just they had a terrible year, and they really pushed a lot of people that are diehard fans away.
But I go back to the other point that I made where it's like, okay, some companies are struggling to get to the mountaintop. Arcade 1-Up had more time, sure, but they sort of got to the mountaintop. They knew what it took to get there, and then they spoiled it. They ruined it. They didn't learn anything from the journey, which is in some ways more frustrating than a company just trying to figure it out. Like, I don't know, Iconic Arcade.
Oh man.
Are we getting drunk, P-dubs?
No,
it's the
not
best.
at all.
It's the
No.
best.
I just
He's
I-
totally sober.
I I just laughed because I recently reviewed the My Arcade Game Station Pro, right? I took the Atari Game
It's
Station.
the Atari one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I took it. I've owned it for 6 months. I finally opened it and played it, and I just made a video, and I gave it a negative review. And My Arcade must have this big cult following. I mean,
They do.
They do.
They
do.
have been so
Oh,
pissed
yeah.
off. They're like, but you can add your own fucking games to it, Peanuts.
Don't
You
you
didn't mention that.
understand?
You didn't mention that. You could plug your own controller in. You didn't mention that. You know what I mean? I'm like, guys,
The fanatics.
when
are the
people
best.
buy a product that includes controllers, they want to use the controllers that come included. And the controllers that come included suck.
but doesn't that make sense?
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my God, they're just it's insane. I love reading the comments that pop up. on my
But Patrick,
video.
I want to know: have you heard from all the Neocade fans? Are they
No,
are they out there?
Because there
No?
are none. There are
Because they're none. Yes, exactly. So,
But-
guys,
yeah.
chat real quick before we continue on with the conversation. We do have the poll question. This is it. The top 4 of tonight. The top 4 results. Who is the best in home arcade 2024? We got GRS, we got Evercade, we got Stern, and we have New Wave Toys. Make your vote. Make your voice be heard. Vote now.
Let's see if we can get 100. Can we get 100 votes now?
Can we
Who's
get
the
100?
best in
Justin, is
home
that
arcade
possible?
in
I think so because we got
2024?
60, then 70.
Why did you
I think
why'd
80.
you put Stern
84.
on here?
I know
Why'd you
Stern's
put
not
They're
really
the
a home
top
arcade
4.
product. They're
They're
not
top
a home
4.
arcade product.
He's
They're top 4.
accumulating the votes as we go.
Stern
You
had-
missed out. There was a whole
Yeah.
section on Stern.
Stern had 41%, and they got
yeah,
an
I
A.
wasn't here for the Stern
Yeah.
talk. I don't
He's
think.
And then
doing
you
like
had-
a whole tournament
Oh, yeah.
thing.
And
We're in
those were all
brackets now.
Justin and B's accounts
Brackets,
trying to force
everything,
us into
yeah.
pinball.
Yeah, he's got brackets going on.
There was Mike. Mike was also in here. He voted 4 times for Glenn. So just to write that down. There you go.
Oh, by the way, we have to vote for Glenn. You don't have a choice. If you don't
Yeah,
vote
yeah.
for Glenn, people are going to come
Of
after you.
He's gonna
course.
win because
They
everyone
have to
wants
vote
the
for him.
vanity vote.
Well,
have
he's
to.
got the lead so
and keep
far.
in
But
mind, Stern is their number one consumer is the home. They
The
made that
home-
shift many
the
years
home
ago.
arcade. Yeah.
We all talk about how, arcades is where you can play them, but if you want to play them, the more likely place to play them is at some other person's house. You just have to find that person. You go to
This is true.
Pinball Map. I'm sorry, you go to Pinside is what you do. So this is the trick. You go to Pinside, and then you don't look at arcades. You look at people that you can do this. You can look at people that own the machines. You can actually find people that claim they own machines on Pinside, and you can message them and be like, "Can I come over? I see you have 13 machines. Can I come over?" I actually had a guy reach out to me, and he was all like, "Hey, I have a Deadpool, and I see you have Godzilla. I'm thinking about getting Godzilla. What do you think of it?" And I was like, "Oh, here's what I think about Godzilla." So anyway, so they're home arcade.
The black and white is the best.
I love Glenn. I do, but I don't know how you vote for him other than virtue signaling here because, what
100%.
did Glenn do in
He
2024?
didn't do anything. He
No.
just made a whole bunch of promises that we
Yeah.
all like.
He was
want.
a badass, and he gave us the Build-A-Cade at 50%
He
off.
did that last year.
It was
You
years ago.
bastard.
He just made a sale on it.
You
Your
sons of
rules,
bitches.
your rules have no like.
How
there's
much
no
is he
guidelines.
paying you?
Mike,
Fox?
it's math, bro. I just took the results of the poll questions. The
He's
chat is
he's
speaking.
buying
It's not
so
me.
many people's opinions.
I am the conduit. I am not the message. I am
Also,
just the
keep in
conduit.
mind, look, I'll be honest. I
Mhm.
see Glenn every day. Every day I see Glenn
Every day.
on Facebook.
I
through
see him every time I
ads.
close my eyes.
I mean, like the ads. I mean, like I tell Facebook, look, I already bought this product. You don't have to send me ads anymore. And then there Glenn is again the next day. Like the dude's like, I don't care. Keep advertising to home arcade people. It's true.
You make me promises.
If
It's
Glenn
the-
doesn't win, I'll be upset.
It's the will of the community. Mike, you shut your whore mouth.
I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people with, what is that word? I have a healthy amount of skepticism for things and stuff like that. And honestly, unless you're a huge fan of Glenn's boomstick, what are you voting for him for? I love Glenn, but like, are we basing this on the products, or are we basing
No,
this
we're
on the
basing
person?
this on
A, B,
because
D, and F.
Arcade One Up
Exceeded your
screwed him over.
expectations, met your expectations, didn't meet your expectations, needs improvement, and fail, which is just basically you're done.
Or
I don't think
A-
he failed.
Obviously.
He got screwed over by Arcade One Up and he feel bad. And you want to share
So-
that with as many people as possible.
And to be fair,
Change the Glenn GRS vote to virtue signaling.
Glenn
support
spent a
Glenn.
lot of money
Why is
on
it-
me and
what
console
is it
kits.
every
so
time
you gotta-
I don't get it, man. Back in the day,
back in the day,
am I such a boomer Gen Xer that
Gen X baby.
we didn't put a label on everything? Like if you say an opinion on something, it's suddenly labeled in some way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like back then, like, you know,
It was just your opinion.
if someone was being a dick to you, you would just say, dude's being a dick or dude's an asshole, right?
Yeah.
But now we use terms like virtue signaling and stuff like that. And I don't get it. Like, where did these words even come from, Mike? Where?
You wouldn't
We
get
should
it
find a
because you
different
virtue
word.
signal.
I'm older than everyone on
Like-
this panel.
Like, I don't
I don't know
remember
which one.
in the last 10 years ever hearing that word, except in the last, like, 2 years.
It's fair.
You know what I
Let's find a different word for it.
You know?
I'll ask ChatGPT.
Being a
If
douchebag.
someone's talking shit, you would call him an asshole or a dick.
How about you
You
just
wouldn't be like,
express your actual opinion?
virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling is, I guess, like a more PC way of saying being a suck up douchebag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
Mike is absolutely
that's
virtue
fair.
signaling.
Yeah. Yeah. Douchebag versus signal. same
Fox,
thing.
check the private chat. Put up the final poll of the night so
Oh,
we can get
God,
out
the
of here
final
with a
poll.
giggle.
Okay. So we gotta have. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys. And I think surprise with 40%, Glenn wins the day. The GRS is the king. The
Oh, this
best
community's so
arcade.
predictable.
But before we go, we
So
have
the
one
greatest
more.
product of the year was the GRS boomstick, which blew out everything
Unbelievable.
else.
It blew out
There you go.
everything.
And you guys
If
have so
you
much
doubt
faith in this
that,
community.
Can we do one more poll and have some
I have
fun with
no
it
faith
without
in this
people getting offended?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay,
I
so
love
P
this
Dubs,
idea.
while he does that, the boomer word for virtue signaling is grandstanding.
Grandstanding.
Or
I like
posturing.
that word. Posturing. I like that
Holier
word.
than thou. Remember
These
that
are
one?
all terms
These are
I've
good.
actually heard in my life.
Lip service.
Yes, lip
I
service.
Yeah,
love it.
these are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go back to using those words? Because
You're just giving lip service to Glenn.
Yes,
That's
that's all
right.
you're doing. Lip service to Glenn. Mike, enough posturing about Arcade One Up in 2025.
What the fucking fuck? I was the one who was going against the posture, you dickhead.
And you become the number one posturer.
But Mike, we see that it's all a clever switcheroo that you're going to go back on your word. And Arcade One Up is the best because they're releasing the Defender Arcade One Up at CES.
That's right. You've all been bamboozled.
And
Stop
Hornswoggle.
Some would say
grandstanding, all right?
hoodwinked.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, guys. We're going to have some fun. And if anyone gets offended with the next poll, please work on yourself in 2025.
Yeah, it's
as
not
part of
us,
your New
it's
Year's
you.
resolution. Yeah, this is going to be great.
I don't know what this is. I'm going to go to the private chat and see what it is.
No, don't look, Mike.
No, make
Don't
it a
look,
surprise.
Mike.
You dare, Mike. Don't do it, Mike.
Fox isn't going to do it.
We're
He
going
only
to
had
end the
one
broadcast with
drink. He
some humor.
only had one drink.
Well,
We're gonna
There's
end the
no
broadcast.
way Fox is going to do it.
I think he should.
Fox doesn't have
Did you
the
read the
guts.
private chat?
Oh, yeah.
Fox doesn't have the guts to put
guys,
this
so
poll
the
up
the
in the
most
chat.
important poll tonight.
Oh!
All right, here we go. Oh, you asshole.
Right now.
You're a
Who
jerk.
you
That's
ain't
not the
as
poll I
good-
told you to
No,
put up.
You son of a bitch. You're in it, baby.
I am offended by your virtue signaling.
Bring it, baby.
Your
Bring it.
hate mongering all over me.
It's
No.
horrible. It's my it's all the things. Let me know right now, guys,
Everyone vote for me
that
Don't
you know.
because-
vote.
I
because
want to know who
because
you
I made the
rate
least amount of
shill
content.
of the year. Who's the shill of the year?
Shill of the year.
Console Kits,
Those are
P-Dubs
not the
Arcade.
names I gave you,
I
Fox.
could be the.
I'm gonna read what
Arcade
P-Dubs said the poll should
And then,
be.
of course, 19K.
I'm gonna
Fox,
do it.
Obviously, the wrong choice. Not the. You shouldn't pick that one at all. But
I
there
knew
you
you
go.
would.
Unacceptable
Because-
Fringe. I don't think you'd like some of the people that you think you like if you went back and checked their GoFundMe history.
I want
Like,
100
yeah,
votes.
hypocritical
This is
fuck.
the most important poll. Most important poll of the entire night. We need to know.
I like how you wrote 19K Fox. Obviously, the wrong choice.
Obviously, the
See,
wrong choice.
Okay,
No
I
one
need
would
permission
pick
from
that.
Fox. This is his channel. Kevin Clausen says I need to read what P-Dubs said.
No,
I
you
think- I
can't.
think that that's fair. I think
We'll
that
save that
maybe-
for the first W Awards of 2025. We'll do
I think
that.
that's right. I think we'll leave that.
This is
Patrick-
best on P-Dubs' channel.
Yeah,
I know
Patrick can disclose that on his own.
Are you
channel.
going to do a best of 2024 show, P-Dubs?
He should. This is
Wait, what?
My show is the standard. Michael,
Or are you going to do a
Michael
best
P is
of
gonna copy it.
2024? This is a best of 2024 show.
Yeah, tomorrow, but we're just going to call it the W Awards. And
Okay.
Yeah.
it's going to be
Sounds good.
just nothing about you. It's just going to be all about YouTubers and nothing about actual home art.
I think it's
I
the best
love
way
it.
to go.
I'm going to watch it twice.
And my
Unsubscribe.
my categories are going to hurt some feelings. I mean, some people are going
Oh
to
my
feel like
God.
they just got punched in the dick while they're watching this show.
Oh,
It's
that's
gonna
the
be great.
best stuff ever.
I'm excited.
It's going to be great.
I think it's gonna be good.
I'll
Unacceptable
do
Fringe,
I'll do
all
the
about
show
it.
that everyone
Yeah.
else is afraid to do.
Are
Good
you going
times
to talk
we
about
had
Kevin
now.
Clausen? all
My
night?
categories are going to be shill of the year, who bought the most subs in the year.
Oh my God.
I heard James
Yeah.
Hates Everyone is going to do
worst,
that, but
worst
only
product
members
review
channel.
of the year. But it's all in good fun, you know. Like we have to make fun
Members
of
only.
ourselves in this community. You know what? It was funny too because I was watching. It just came out on Netflix. Do you guys? I love roasts, like the roast of Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
roast.
yeah. 100%.
So good.
Jeff
I've been doing
Ross
that to
and,
Mike all night.
Jeff Ross and them just did it. Just came out on Netflix this weekend. The roast of 2024, and I was like, it's healthy that people can look back and make fun of each other, you know,
That's
over
right.
the stuff they did. So
Like
yeah.
Fox and Homer, My Arcade, right?
Yeah,
100%.
you know?
100%.
Yeah. That's what a joke.
My
that is.
categories are great. Like, who would you call the big switcheroo? Who switched from one company to show loyalty to another, and all that stuff? You know what I mean? You know,
Michael
great.
B.
it's great. Who pulled off the biggest switcheroo of 2024?
Mhm.
Like, who used to really like real arcades, and now all of a sudden they like pinball?
And
you
now
know
they're
what I
like,
mean? It's
no,
good.
I love pinball. I love Stern.
Well, that's pretty good. Pretty
So
good.
someone in the home arcade community held a live stream at some point asking people for donations towards his legal cause, and then later the same year complained about Smash GT doing the exact same thing.
Piece
Like he
of
didn't do
garbage.
it.
Hey, Mike, just so you know, I've got
joke.
super chats turned off on this channel because I don't need the money, because I don't need it. It's not important. But some people,
It's really
not only do they
upsetting
have
Kevin
super chats
Clausen.
enabled, but they also have their own Patreon. Do you guys have a Patreon? I don't have a Patreon.
I had one
I
a
have a
while
Patreon.
back.
Do
But
you have a Patreon? It's crazy. Oh my God, that's so horrible.
I just
I just
do a
want to point
GoFundMe.
out how much I love your real chat. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
There we go. I see. Oh, that's not. Come on,
I love
guys.
it.
Come on, guys.
Wait, what?
I love it.
Oh, that's horrible.
Look
It's
at the
so
chat.
horrible.
Who
It's
is
so
show of the
horrible.
year? Oh, and it's dropping. I'm down
so
to 9.
horrible.
I'm less than 10%.
Guys, come on.
Let
We got to
Keep
get
me
this.
under
We got to. Come on. We got to hurt
Keep
this
it.
guy's. Come on. Obviously,
see the
I'm
poll.
the wrong choice.
Mike, you don't want to see the poll.
Oh, I'm 100% sure it's me. I don't care. I wear that in the badge.
Let's just be clear, guys. I'm ahead of P-Dubs. Do you know why? He cares so much about your opinion that he makes content specifically designed to curb your opinion. While I, on the other hand, care less about your opinion than anything, that I don't make content to try to control how you think about me, which makes me less of a shill than P-Dubs. You are in fact being manipulated by P-Dubs.
Who it fucking
Where I
plays? Oh
am doing
man, I
nothing.
am so good. I buy all my own products. I love you guys.
100%. I even give a video where I'm going to give them a 0 out of 10,
my
and the majority of the comments are people praising me
I
on
hate
how
the fact that I'm
faithful and
coming in
loyal you are.
in second place. I thought
Which
this
is
was my audience.
Literally in the YouTube handbook of how to manipulate the audience.
What?
Where I know
Well-
this information, but withhold from doing that.
Justin,
because I don't want
if
to
you go to
control
review a
the-
product and the product doesn't even turn on, it's a fucking 0 out of 10.
Zero.
Yeah.
It's not manipulation.
Says the man
Negative
trying to
one.
get all the no shill votes.
-1 out of 10.
You're just mad at my recent videos.
No, dude, you know I love
just
your
mad.
videos. I watched your videos, and
just
I'm
mad.
like, I see what you're doing,
You're just
and I
mad.
like how you're doing it. Hey Fox, remember that
I might be-
the bug in The Office where he walked around all smug, you know?
Oh yeah.
I might become the biggest drama channel in 2025, guys. I mean, legit.
I think
that would be amazing.
Patrick,
like
that's where the
honestly,
money's
like
at.
what's funny too is because when I watch these
so good.
drama channels, I'm like, dude, I could do this shtick so much better than
You
these
would be
guys.
such a good drama channel. I don't know
And,
why you
like
don't do it.
I could do this shtick.
That's where
and
the
I would
money's
be-
at. I'm telling
And
you.
I would be
You would get
way
100K subs
I would
easily
be
without
way
buying them.
meaner, way meaner than all this social. What do you call them? Social channels. People, you
Dude,
know.
and you have so many folders ready to go.
I
like
got
every
folders.
folder
Ready to go.
is
I got
filled
folders
with
on
episodes.
everybody. I got folders on everybody.
Kevin will super chat you today. He can't super chat me.
He
'cause
does have folders. That's the most fucked up thing I've heard yet.
I don't.
I think it's great.
You
Yeah.
Keep
You
that
guys are
dirt,
so dumb.
son.
Yeah, the other
guys are
day he
so
was
dumb.
in our chat and he asked me a question and he was like, "Is it true that this and that happened?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That went into his folder."
That's a folder. And spreadsheets. And spreadsheets.
He's really good at organizing. It's the real secret
I
to
like to
YouTube.
keep things organized, Justin, so I have folders. What
That's
is
right.
the big deal?
There's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
fair. Remember, I would pay to see your folders. Would you sell admission to? Dude, no, you don't need to sell admission. You just need to become a drama channel next year. Give it away for free. Advertise
Like,
it.
seriously,
Hit 1 in the chat if you would watch P-Dub's drama channel.
I should do it. I should do it.
You should
But
call it
then-
Retro Rewind.
Retro Rewind.
Yeah, Retro Rewind.
That's
You're
probably already a channel name. Let's take a look. Oh man,
Isn't that the
That's
name
awesome.
of the channel that Michael B always made fun of you about?
Retro randoms.
Oh, Retro
there
Random.
is a channel
Random.
called Retro Rewind. It's got
That's
12,000 subscribers.
That's too bad. See, we got one in the
Stealing
chat.
it.
Boom, son.
Look at all these ones, man.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
Hey, those in the chat that started moving their votes over to P-Dubs, I love you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait,
Keep
wait.
those-
Keep those votes coming.
It's
No,
the
no,
right
no, no,
thing
no,
to
no,
do.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, no.
You
Oh,
can't
I'm-
vote for
go
me.
with
I
your
made
heart.
no content this year.
Go
I
with
wanted
your
to be
heart.
less than 10%.
Console kids
This
should
is
be
for 2024.
0.
I can't be a shill if I
Guys,
don't make
think
content.
about all the
Man's
times
console kids
Justin
has
was
done nothing.
shilling Stern Pinball
Yeah.
throughout 2024.
He's
he may not have
done
made a lot of
nothing.
videos, but he went to every event and he was walking around going, "I love Stern."
Right.
That
Think
was
about
the
that.
other
Think about
guy.
how much money I spent this year on a passion for a product that I enjoy and never made a video about it.
Never made a video.
Can you even
I
understand
should
that,
be
P
so
Dubs?
much lower
Is that
on
something
this
that you
poll.
can
How am I-
process?
That's horrible.
What? I missed.
It's
what
just
you said.
like just enjoyed it and that's it.
Yeah.
And then
You know what?
I
you know
didn't
what's
film
really-
it.
You know what's really, really cool is I don't think you guys realize that Mr. Console Kids here actually has a true,
See?
real passion for pinball.
The
Real love.
percentage is going down.
Yeah.
A
real
true,
love.
real passion for pinball. And
Justin's at 14% without any content.
but however, Justin does make moves in the shadows.
Oh, he does.
Justin.
What does that
I'm just
mean?
kidding.
Oh,
Justin.
he
I'm
does.
just
Gone up.
kidding.
That's great.
What does that
Justin
even
is like the
mean?
puppet master behind the scenes. He's the guy
the
behind the
string.
guy.
John. Here's what you say to Evercade. Get them to put in interchangeable marquees.
Yes, Justin. I will do what you say.
Here's who
John,
you send your product to.
great? You know what would be great, John? Tell them when they sign the deal with Capcom, no cartridges, just digital
This isn't true. You want to know the truth? Hey,
That's what we would
Mason,
say.
the next time you make a new branding for P-Dubs, use as much pink as possible.
Oh my God.
I actually like the pink.
Tim York, Dr. Torque brings it up.
I told him to use the pink and purple
I know.
because I
I
told
was
him I
just
wanted the
teasing
synthwave colors.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. It's fair. And to be fair, Mason never showed me your brand.
Mason's about to get his fucking ass fired if he did.
Do you hear what I said?
Yeah.
He did.
I'll put his ass on
I
blast if
only
he
said that to be
Done,
funny.
son.
You need a folder on Mason, Dubs.
That's it.
Not a
Mason folder.
So
Here comes the Mason folder.
really
Right
quickly.
click.
Honestly,
Hold on.
I think
Mike,
people
right
should vote
click,
for me. I've got
new
so
folder,
much stuff this year sent to me from companies.
Mason.
It's only fair.
Are you making a case for shilling more? You're trying to get more
Dr.
votes?
Torque says it. Honestly,
I'm pretty upset. My numbers went up to 16%. I need to stop talking.
I'm way too high.
Wait.
20.
Wait, hold on.
Do
Justin,
they know I don't get anything free?
Justin,
Mhm.
bad news.
Mhm.
I already have a Mason folder.
Oh my God.
I'm
He's
kidding.
already got it.
I'm totally kidding.
It exists.
I'm totally kidding. Oh man.
I need 13 more votes. Come on, 13 more votes.
Rainwater, I'd be
we need to
quiet.
get to
You
100?
have
100
you have
votes.
the
Come on, guys.
largest folder, Rainwater. You have your folders like that thick.
I've seen that folder.
It's
Give me
bad.
13 more
It's
votes.
got
It's bad.
crazy stuff.
Hey, Jong, you know what would be great? Release more games with ladders. Do it, Jong. Do
Ladders
it.
are
Everybody loves
incredible.
ladder games. Platforms with ladders, Jong. Find them. Find them, Jong.
I don't know.
I am shilling to be top shill. I've been very fortunate this past year. A lot of companies reached out to me and said, "Do you want to try this stuff?" And I've been lucky. I think I come in second still to Cool Toy. Cool Toy and Nostalgia get the most offers.
They
from
get the
companies.
most, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That goes without saying.
I didn't get.
Oh,
any
it's all in
Neocades,
good fun,
that's for
people.
sure.
We're just trying to end the show in good fun. Please end the poll so we can go to bed.
We are going to end the poll right now so we can go to bed. Those of us on the East Coast are happy that it's only my
Besides,
God.
Fox, what do we do when this happens?
Well, you know what we do, buddy. It's kind of a standard. It's a staple.
My coffee was gone 2.5 hours ago.
2.5 hours ago, buddy. Well, you know what you do when your glass is empty. Unfortunately, this is the way it goes.
What the hell? Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
That's right. It is time, unfortunately, to wrap it up. 2024 comes to a close. But before we go, we got to talk about the poll question, the last poll question, the most consequential poll question of the year. And it is who you rate as the shill of the year. Unfortunately, no one could hold the candle to the Michael B with a whopping 52%. The man, the myth, the legend.
It's
The
because
title is
he doesn't hold
secure.
his sponges.
So, guys, for business inquiries, please email me at povmd@yahoo.ca.
Guys, it's been an pretty. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's been an incredible 5 years that we've known each other. It's been fun. It's been interesting.
I wish I could say it's been incredible, but keep going.
You guys
Let's
don't
just
even know
say
me.
it's
You don't know my
incredible.
real name. I'm the fucking Lizard King.
We don't even know your real name. It's important that we don't know your real name, to be honest with you. Just to be fair, you some bitches are wild. I don't want to know your real name. Justin and I are going to be at CES. And then I think-
CES.
Justin, do we have any plans after CES?
We do.
Huh.
We have a huge road trip coming, and I'm
Okay.
amplifying that with this background music,
Dramatic music.
this dramatic music. Let me go to an
Oh my
image.
God. If you want to know more about what's going on with the epic road trip with Consequence when
Console quits. That was his name
He's
in
not quitting.
2024.
Console quits.
Console quits.
Everyone in the
Consequence,
chat, my
Anti-Game,
name is now Console Quits.
it's now
Change the
Console
channel.
Quit.
Rebrand.
Change it. It's all
Wait,
all
what's
different.
the
Fine.
what's the road trip?
We are
You
going
want
to
know- no,
check
no,
this
no,
out.
no. Shh, shh, shh. If you want to know more,
I am not flying home. I'll say that from
Okay.
Vegas.
You're gonna drive.
They're
home.
getting married in the little chapel of love.
I'm not flying home from Vegas.
Fox,
Mike,
you're not
don't
driving to
spoil it.
Vegas, are you?
I'm not
flying
driving.
to
I'm
Vegas.
just not flying home because
But-
I got a second trip.
Justin's not going to fly directly home.
What
That's
about
right.
you?
I'm going home. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin's not going home.
That's right.
No, he's
I'm not
going with
home.
Fox because they're going to be at a ceremony at the Little Chapel of Love. Then
We're
they're
gonna
going to
have to
come
go to
home,
another
spring
state.
it on Fox's wife, and be like,
Kentucky
"You gots to
doesn't
go."
recognize this union, but Tennessee does.
You're gonna drive home with B Kong
No.
and
No.
hang out in LA for a while.
Nope.
Oh, why would anybody want to hang out with B Kong?
LA
So he sit
is
there,
just-
play his depressing Foo Fighters music.
I know. Oh my god! And he would talk about Chrono Trigger constantly. I mean, that's not even the best game.
Look, I know I'm
Chrono
only a
Cross is the
5-hour
best
drive
game.
from Vegas, but if you guys show up here uninvited, I am going to be pissed.
No.
We're not going that way.
I'm not going to ruin it, but so
You're
guys,
going
you wanna
north to
know? If you
Canada?
want to know the real reason Justin isn't going home, you got to pay $4.99 a month to join
That's
19K
right.
Fox.
Join my.
Wait, are you going to go see Nostalgia? Doesn't he live on that side?
Nope.
If you want to find out more about it, tune into the 19K Fox channel, the Console Quits channel. We're going to do
Console
some
Quits.
joint ventures. There's going to be some crazy stuff. Is it possible that Console Kits could be streaming from this location? Anything is possible. Oh
Yeah.
my God. You're going to have to wait.
I have so many green screen ideas.
So
It's going to
kids,
be insane.
don't play what you're playing. Play the 19K Fox Beverly Hills Cop Crazy Frog song again.
Play the intro.
That is
It's
Okay,
great.
I get it. I get it. Justin is going to go home with Fox and stream from the Foxcade.
And then maybe we're going to go somewhere else.
That's right.
And maybe we're going to pick up something.
And
And maybe I'm going to go
film together.
film the whole way. And then maybe we're going to go to Justin's house. And maybe I'm going to take something from Justin's house
That's right.
and bring it to my house.
Oh,
my God,
You
I
already
know what's
have the Road
happening.
Blasters?
It's insane.
Oh, I know
my
what's
God.
happening.
And guess what? You know what
Okay.
the best thing is? You know what the most awesome thing
Yeah.
is? Let me tell you right now. It's going to be